How's it going? We're here at Reggae in the River with Marlon Asher. How you doing, Marlon?
Oh, well, it's good. It's hot, but I'm fine, Here, Reggae on the River, we're ready for the performance. Blessing,
2024.
Oh, my God, it's been a while,
You've been getting me to reggae shows forever.
Yeah, well, this
12 years.
This one, I hope is going to be the epic one, because
I think so.
Reggae on the River has been missing for a while, and it's back, and we're here. Remember?
Back in full force. It's wild. So many people were juiced to come here. It's like, it's amazing.
The camp situation is crazy too, man. It's a beautiful day. Reggae on the River, we here, ready for the performance.
How's it going? I'm here with Rick from Royal Gold at Reggae on the River 2024. Amazing event. This is the first day. It's pretty wild already.
It is, man. It's just heating up. Day one, first time back here in 7 years, but obviously this thing's been going for over 3 decades. So it is a big family reunion. Everyone's coming back to the spot that they love. They've got memories. Everybody's excited. Everybody's talking about yesteryear and the things that have happened and the music that they've listened to and the great things that they've experienced around music, around Humboldt County, and around the amazing plant, Cannabis.
Totally. We all have great reggae stories from the past. I had to sleep on the rocks one year. That was an experience. I love this place. I love the music. I love the passion. Everybody smokes weed. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. 100%. Yeah, as we get older, we notice we're bringing camping pads and even pillows. But when you're younger, I definitely have times where I came down here where it was like, the rock was the pillow, just like that famous song,
Just tough it out. And
exactly.
Have an amazing weekend.
Yeah, they've done a great job, man, just setting everything up. The way that they positioned everybody, all the vendors, all the sponsors, it's very community-based. They've kind of put everybody together where, depending on what you're doing, if you're doing food, obviously those guys are always together in a food zone, but, it's kind of nice between, like, the jewelry, the clothing, and then you got the more cultivating-based companies all kind of in a zone, and
right.
So it's just it just feels familiar. It just feels like a big family reunion.
Yeah, it's like coming home, seeing your friends that you haven't seen for a while. Luckily, we get to see each other more often. But
absolutely.
But yeah, dude, it's fun.
I'm stoked that you came up, man. We talked about this obviously 6 months ago or so.
We were on for the podcast.
Yep, I was on for the podcast, and we mentioned this afterwards. We went out to dinner. And it's one of those things, sometimes you can mention something like this. Oh, man, Reggae in the River's going on. You should come up. And a lot of times people will just, it sounds like a great idea, but it won't happen.
It sounds like fun.
A week later, you hit me up, and you were like, man, I really actually want to come up. I want to take you up on this. I think it's a great opportunity to not just do podcasting and get out there and talk to our audience, but to get back into the roots and like the magic that surrounded us in regards to this plant. Right, as we go more commercial, as we go more legal, things are changing, man, and it's very, very important for us to remember where we came from, and the magic that happened in these hills, these mountains,
why we're here.
Flower.
Absolutely.
Right, that's where we all cut our teeth with this plant, 30, 40 years ago for some of us. So it's important, man. It's all about coming back, being a part of the cannabis community here in Southern Humboldt County, in the Emerald Triangle.
And giving back and sharing and all that good stuff. It's great because you meet the nicest people here too. It's like everybody's in a good mood. Everyone's happy to be here. I think there's more cannabis consumed than alcohol, which plays a huge role to like the people tuning in rather than tuning out.
Sure.
And it's a lot of fun. Not that there's anything wrong with a couple beers or anything like that. That's always great. But I feel like people here are tuned in, and it's great to be around a whole bunch of people that are tuned in to what's going on and happy just in general, even though whatever's going on at home is going on at home. when you're here, and it's just an amazing feeling to be around people that are just so happy to be here.
100%, man. You couldn't have said that any better. Because back in the day, when this has always pretty much gone on that first weekend of August, right? And it was almost like a celebration of you're done with planting and really kind of getting into you get everything set up with your garden, right? And you're just about to go into the real part of Humboldt County in the Emerald Triangle.
Everything flips.
Where the copters were going to start flying. She was about to get real. Let's get together. Let's gather. Let's celebrate each other, the plant, the music, because these next couple of months.
You might even still be sexing plants like this time of the year
100%.
outdoors if you're growing regular seeds. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like this is the time of year.
Yep.
Plants are big. The bigger ones show their sex early on typically, but you'll still get some.
Oh,
ones at
absolutely.
the end.
We've all been
I
caught
love
off
those.
guard.
Yep. Seed companies have been built off of that.
Big time.
Amazing.
So yeah, man, it's really good. I think everybody being in a good mood. I think it's where we're at right now, where people, post COVID. I think that was a traumatic thing for people like us, our tribe, our culture. We gather, we like to circle up and ceremony, and those years, man, it was really difficult for us to get back to something like this. And where we can actually share in all the good things that we love and why we've all been drawn to each other over the decades, man. It feels great.
We go through a lot of trauma just in life. In existence, there's trauma, COVID, whatever happens, over the period of your life. That kind of stuff, these type of events are good for that kind of stuff.
No doubt.
In fact, they're the best. I think being able to get around other people in this nice warm weather, and listen to some good music. At the end of the day, the music really kind of just ties it all in together. Like, we're here for the music. I mean, we're here for all of it.
Oh, yeah.
But then the music just elevates it all. It elevates the whole experience.
I'm excited about the lineup, man. I got some really dear friends in the band, Checkered Past.
Nice.
They're dear friends of ours. I've played music with them personally over the years.
Nice.
And it's a new twist on ska music, which I'm a big fan of. Growing up in New York City, I got turned on to ska in the 80s. Some people laugh at ska. They just think it's like a funny, quirky thing to be into. Ska music is the most uplifting, happy, let's fucking dance. I put that shit on a Sunday when I'm ready to clean my house. You know what I mean?
Well, the ties with reggae and ska.
It does, man. Absolutely. It's the roots of it all, man.
Exactly.
Before reggae, there was ska. And it's Checkered Past. You got to check them out. They're not on the main stage. They're on one of the side stages. Tomorrow, Saturday. That's awesome. And then, of course, you got Capleton. You got Sister Nancy. I'm so excited.
Marlon Asher.
Marlon Asher.
Super
Super pumped to see Marlon Asher.
He's amazing, yeah.
J-Bug.
I
love, Maui. I'm going
I'm
to Maui
hoping
for a long
J-Bug
time.
and Marlon go up and perform together.
Oh, man. You go way back with Marlon, so you put in your little elbow rub to see if you can make that happen, because that would be amazing.
That would be an amazing end to
100%.
to Sunday night.
Absolutely.
I love the music, and we got multiple stages. We got DJs. Nick T's here DJing. He's one of my good friends. Lots of fun. There's no end to the fun. There's a lot of good booths here too. We got Cutting Edge right next to you guys.
Yeah. We've got Turd Mansion right across from us. We got this little entryway into the Cannabis zone, which is super fun. A lot of us go way back. We've known each other for quite some time. And then we're sitting in the Big Tent for Cannifest. Cannifest is run by Steve Gieder, who's a old school Humboldt County entrepreneur. He had grow stores, dispensary. He's been throwing on the Cannabis festivals for years, getting the people together from the Emerald Triangle and beyond. He's done an extraordinary job over the last 2.5 decades. And here he is. We're under the Cannifest tent here at Reggae on the River. He's throwing his own Cannifest in September, first weekend of September. Scratch that, second weekend of September, 7th and 8th. And it's on the waterfront in Eureka. It's got a great lineup, more drifting away from Grateful Dead-esque or reggae, but more Grateful Dead kind of with lettuce, with O'Teal and friends. He's got Melvin Seals from JGB Band. I mean, it's a great lineup. 2-day festival right on the waterfront. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll both be there. I'll be filming there too. We're going to do some more podcast stuff and get you out there again, and we'll talk some more. It should be a blast.
Don't tempt me with a good time. I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be smoking some good weed.
Sounds
for
good.
sure. How's it going, everybody? I'm here with Rue from Rue's Goofy Growing and the Seed to Harvest podcast. How are you doing today, Rue?
Good. I'm doing really good.
Dude, we're here at Reggae in the River. It's amazing. We're smoking a bunch of weed.
Yep.
Enjoying
Good
the
time.
festivities.
Yeah. Oh, I've been enjoying them since before they even started. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's been good.
So this all started with a phone call that we had about 2 months ago.
Yeah, correct.
And I was like, man, I think I mentioned going to reggae. And you're like, I like reggae. And I'm like, you want to go? And then next thing you know, you're here.
There you go, man. Yeah. Like you said, you know you're on the right path when shit just starts happening for you.
Yeah, when shit falls into place, you know you're on the right path.
I've always believed squeaky wheel gets the oil. So, yeah, you said it. I was like, what's the worst that could happen? He just says, all right, I'll see you there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there you go. So, but yeah, you said come on, and I got my money for the flight, and here I am. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's going to be an amazing weekend. I love this.
Yeah.
I love this venue. I love everything about the event. Just the people are great. It's nice weather. You can't go wrong. There's a lot of good weed.
Yeah.
Like as far as variety,
Tons
we're
of
going to
good
see
weed.
tons of everything, right? There's good depths that are coming down right now that are fresh. I love those.
Yeah.
There's good indoor. There's good hash. There's good everything.
Yep.
We're smoking some of that Flora and Flame Donnie Burger. That rosin is next level, dude. That's the best stuff we've been smoking.
Dude, I really love it. All the rosin. Yeah, that stuff is.
Yeah.
Man, the flavor we're getting off of all.
We smoked some Whitethorn Rose a little bit ago.
Yeah,
You got to try Whitethorn Rose for the first time.
That is, like you said, that is a good, make you feel good strain.
It just makes you feel good and it tastes good. I feel like it's not too strong. It's not too weak either. It's just perfect.
It kind of feels like what's how you kind of like. I imagine it be like when you get high for like high school, like that good vibe. You know what I'm saying? That gives you like a good vibe.
It's like a warm hug for your ancestors. And that's what it feels like to me. You know, like
Hell yeah.
yeah, but this and then what else did we smoke? We smoked some of that 11 coffers. We smoked a big joint of that.
Yeah, dude, that was really good.
From Planta, that was really good. We smoked some SF Canna, Guava Cherry.
Yeah,
that's
I've been
another winner.
guava cherry.
And some of that Nemo Skittles.
Yeah.
The Nemo Skittles is fire.
Yeah. All
Just straight caddies.
All Skittles are fire.
Yeah, so what else are you looking for? Weed-wise, what other things would you like to smoke this weekend?
I'm looking to try some of your sativas. You've been saying that, so I've been trying those out. So I'm always looking for a good sativa.
Yeah. We got that Super Silver from Flora and Flame.
Yeah,
it's organic, living soil, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's some of the best weed that I have with me. I do got a bunch of variety.
Yeah.
Try, and then I can't wait to see everybody else's stuff. Like, I'm super excited. We got seeds here. We got a booth. You're going to be pre-rolling some pre-rolls tomorrow.
I've already met Marlon.
Yeah, Marlon, dude. Like,
Marlon stopped by, so that is awesome. Yeah,
totally. So what's going to happen on your podcast on Saturday since you're not there?
There's that fill in. I told them I might try to come in if I can't get reception. So yeah, they'll do it.
The reception. Okay. So it's a blessing and a curse. I would like to communicate with friends, post stories on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be disconnected. I'm 100% on board with the phone not working, and I'm going to be okay for the weekend. And I'm going to really enjoy my friends and not tune into the phone too much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you get to tune everything out.
It's good to disconnect for a little bit every once in a while. It's good for taking photos because
come here.
We post on Monday or whatever. But like, I just there's so much to absorb in the next weekend.
Yeah.
You know, as far as different experiences.
Y'all have the poster right there, and then you can post later.
Oh yeah.
So you just be in the moment, capture it, and then keep on living, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're here at the Cannifest 10.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Cannifest 10 is going to be amazing. We got an event next month. I'll be going to that. I'm going to basically doing the same kind of setup.
Yeah.
Where we do little interviews and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds like a great time, man. I wish I was going to that, but.
So Al Canisaur's got to go next year, bro. We got to get him out here.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. We got all the.
No, so what we have to do is every year that they have the event, we go and we invite one new person.
There you go.
Right? And so next year, Al Canisaur.
Al, come on, baby.
Come to the event.
Come on, you're next.
You're next.
Come on, baby. Yes, hell yeah.
Keep it super limited, so like every year it gets a little bigger, but not too much bigger.
I'm down to do it. Let's do that. That sounds like a great
plan. The Royal Gold put us in the sponsorship area with the tent. We're under a tree.
Their name is Gold.
Yeah. They are Gold, dude.
Yeah.
Royal Gold's a great company.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Royal Gold. I use Royal Gold in my backyard. I've tried all the different soils out. Vital and Royal Gold are my two go-tos.
Yeah, I want to try them out.
Yeah, it's really good.
I think it's some of there.
It's really good, yeah.
Like I said, I want to try to get like a 7-gallon fabric pot going with some organic something soil. Just
And their super is really good. Dude, everything they make is really good. It's a good company. I feel like they're very authentic and genuine, and they're from up in this area. There's a whole bunch of passionate people working for the company.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, they just love it.
Yeah, dude, we'll do this again.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. How's it going, everybody? I'm here with Lance from TerpLoc, from Grove, that makes the TerpLoc.
Yep, that's it,
One of
man.
my favorite things in the whole world, especially to cure. You guys maybe get rid of a whole bunch of glass containers.
I still use mine for salsa, so
I do, and
there's
sometimes I
that.
put the TerpLoc in the glass containers,
Yeah.
and that's cool so they don't get smashed.
Yep, for sure.
But, it's like we used to do things a different way, and now with the modern advances, you guys have kind of changed the curing game completely, and I love it.
100%.
Yeah, dude, they're great. And you guys have been hooking me up with TerpLocs, and dude, I've been giving them out to our customers to buy seeds.
Sick. Cool. And yeah, we did that collab bag for you, nice little surprise. And I think we have another something up our sleeve on the horizon here. But
Yeah.
it's been sweet. It's been sweet, man. And you've been great to us, and we love being great to you. I know introduced a couple friends from Alaska that need some latest, greatest gens that we got you caught up with at Cannabis, which is cool catching up with you. Missed you in Berlin, though.
I know.
My God, Mary Jane was ridiculous.
I was hand watering.
Oh my God.
That was the really hand
I
watering.
got someone taking care of that stuff. I'm like, James got the time now.
I work on the weekends. Honestly, I fill in on the weekends for my guys, so they can have the weekends off. Typically,
That
we
makes
now
sense.
have one guy that has to work on Saturdays with me.
Yeah.
But I have the best staff ever. Honestly,
You
I
got
have
the best fire ever. So
Yeah,
it
and,
makes sense.
we're female hunting 60 lights right now, and so
Oh my God.
we're gonna have a ton of new fire, new different stuff. 20% of the stuff in the room is completely weird and strange and old school or whatever. And then 80% is like the candy.
Oh my God.
So, but I love it all, and I'm smoking on some Super Silver Haze this weekend. It's gonna be
Did
amazing.
you were talking about that? I can't wait to give that a try. But I like what you're talking about because to your point, there's a lot of guys, especially like you said with the dessert cultivars, right? All these cakes and pies and all the candy strains. So I love how you get into the weird. Like to your point, not a lot of people are chasing Super Silver Haze or Lemon Haze or Headband, and you know how big that is in Europe. Like you and I both go over there enough, and it's still
It's still relevant, right?
Yeah, it's still very relevant. Yeah.
Tangy is relevant in hash form over there.
Yes.
They love the Tangy hash, dude. It's everywhere.
Yep.
The really good Moroccan Tangy hash. I love it. It's amazing. I'm not the hugest Tangy flower guy, but I do really love it in hash form.
Yeah, very interesting how you get that. And what are you ripping on the Fresh Rosin? You doing a live right now?
So House of Cultivar is actually doing a bunch of stuff with my genetics or our genetics that I've worked with Jason Hutto on. But they're doing some of the freaking grape soda and grape gas crosses that I made. And some of the apples and banana stuff that I did.
Oh my gosh.
It's just coming out phenomenal.
I bet.
We've been smoking the live in the fucking the rosin. The Donnie that works for the company, he makes this amazing rosin, and it's just like candy. And then I have some Flora and Flame. We could probably smoke it right now if you want to try some rosin.
I'm always down.
Oh yeah,
Everything you bring is fire, so that goes without saying. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so Flora and Flame. Dude, this is their rosin, and it's Donnie Burger.
Oh,
and it's maybe the best Donnie Burger I've ever smoked.
oh my gosh.
It's the stuff that makes me just want to smoke more.
I love the terps on that.
Yeah, you just push on the button. There's a little bit on there. This will probably get a nice fat hit.
That is tasty.
Yeah, it's like candy. It's kind of like candy popcorn tasting, like in a good way.
Yeah.
Not like the negative side of popcorn. where
No,
you think-
not the overly sweet, but just
No.
that right kind of flavor.
But it's like right there. It's
Dude, I think it hits
really good.
solid.
Well, October 1st, I'm doing a Dabadoo. I don't know if you're available to come to the Dabadoo.
Oh,
It's
no
in
way.
San Francisco. I got
Any
Nicotine,
Cisco.
Marlon's going to be there. I think SF Canada will have some representation. Cannabis Chris will probably be there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an amazing event.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Dude, it's going to be a special event. I don't do events. It's not
Yeah,
my thing. So if
yeah.
I'm going to do it, I want to do it right.
yeah.
We got some amazing sponsors. Everybody's going to have the most amazing extract to smoke. We're going to have a belt for the award.
No way.
Heavyweight belt. Yeah, it's a one-time thing.
You know you grew up with WWF when you're bringing a belt to the table, huh?
It's a fight.
I am in, man. I'm
Yeah.
definitely down. Anything that you touch, like I said, you've been absolutely killing it. As far as the genetics game, been a long time fan because again, you geek out on the rare stuff. You have a huge respect for land race.
Yeah.
But I know you geek out on the more unique and special things, not just the trending stuff, right?
And I sometimes think that with the market, we're stuck on this one thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we can't try to sneak things in to get people interested in other things where they're like, oh yeah, this is cool. It's got the look, it's got the smell, or maybe it has something unique about it, you know?
Yep.
Like,
It's exactly true. And you know this, I'm sure. I have friends up here on the hill that they're sneaking Sour D back in. They're bringing Blue Diamond back in. Like they're bringing some of these fun things from kind of circa 90s, 2000s.
a lot of this stuff is just reoccurring. So like Donny Burger is supposed to be, it's like an S1 of GMO. GMO is basically a stronger version of Chem D. So really you're getting the evolution of Chem Dog, like Chem Dog D, in my opinion. Is what all this stuff is. It came from there. Like we can recognize that and we can appreciate it. And it's special for somebody that's been smoking as long as I have to be able to see the evolution. I don't feel special, but I really feel special being part of this bigger thing. And it's so amazing that we're here and we're part of this thing too. And it's like,
I think it's a mentality you and I both carry. Like for us, and not to know, I mean, there's some people that are so busy building their name and building their brand, and the irony doesn't escape me that it's James Loud Genetics, but you've never made it about you. You're like me. It's always been an us and we, not an I and me. And like you get that, which again, I think that's why you're having success on the global stage. Like seeing friends of mine from the Czech Republic and from Italy and from Germany coming up to your booth at Cannabis and like, dude, this is the book I need. This is the book I want. I'm like, that's freaking sick. I didn't even tell you, man. Mary Jane.
Yeah.
I had a friend flying from Austria. Actually, this guy's buddies with him. This guy just met. He's like, I was listening to your podcast with James Loud on the flight over. He's like, dude, that guy's killing it. I'm like, 100% because he cares about this community, not just about the industry and where it's going, you know? So definitely you got it.
Podcast is a lot of fun. I just have fun with it. I have a good team that I work with, and it's like they make me look better. And it's a group effort, and it's like it's also the group. We're highlighting the guest, right? We're highlighting the guest, and I get the most amazing stories from people, dude. I love that some of our guests are some of the guests I think that are going to be like, okay, they might could go either way, and sometimes they just knock it out of the park. You know, it's like Julie from Sky Magazine was the one. I mean, I love Julie. We've been friends for a long time. I love John too, from Sky back in the day. And when Julie came on the show, she just the first 30 minutes of our interview, it was kind of like how our interview went. Like, I got the same vibe. Like friends catching up, but like she had a lot to say, and she said it in such a precise way, and it was so amazing. And you just never know when you're going to get those moments with people in their life where when you're interviewing them, they hit it out of the park.
Exactly.
And I've been fortunate enough with some of these guys. We had Jimmy came on from Myers Creek Genetics. Myers Creek Seed Company. He's the guy who brought the GDP to the market, right?
Yep. Which I love. I just invested in an operation down south, and we found a rogue Harlequin cross with GDP.
Yeah.
Absolutely fired. Absolutely. So, you have a really eclectic. I notice X, obviously, I watch them all the time.
Yeah.
You bring on such an eclectic. So many that have podcasts are trying to just go for the cloud guys or the obnoxious guys, the ones who are really trying to put themselves front and center. You have like this total, like, I'm dating myself. It's like a Benetton commercial from the 80s, like just such a variety of people. I think that's what's cool.
We're trying to tell a story with the podcast, right?
Yeah.
It's the story of cannabis in the modern time in the last 40 years. What's happened? How did we get here? And so to tell this story properly, you need as many opinions as possible, because the more opinions and stories you have, you can put together this beautiful picture, right? So at the end of my life, we'll have put together this amazing story, right?
Yeah.
It's so much bigger than just myself or any one of the guests.
100%.
Because it's all of us. It's all of our stories, and then my contributing. I just am like so blessed to be part of this fucking amazing thing. Pardon my French, but
No,
it's like,
and I can see it turn into a documentary, to be honest, because you and I both have lived through. I just telling one of these guys here, you know, at Reggae on the River during Cannifest activation. I was like, yeah, this is my 208th trade show expo event in the cannabis industry. He's like, holy shit. I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Like, there's just so many and so much opportunity. We've seen so much over the years. But to your point, like, sometime it has to be a documentary, right? To pause, and even for California.
Sure.
Because you remember, man, like 1990 with Prop P, 1996 with 215, 2016 with 64.
right.
This state's been through a lot on legalization. You and I have been through that entire ride.
Right.
I mean, that in itself is such a crazy story, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So it's just
For sure. It's so wild.
it is.
You know,
Definitely is, man.
yeah, it's just great. It's a great time to be alive. And then when you start going deeper into like, what's your purpose here? It's like, I feel like I know what my purpose is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a great feeling to be like, okay, I serve my purpose for whatever that was. I feel like I'm serving a purpose that's much greater than myself. That we're all a part of it. Like, I'm just like this catalyst for our guests, and it's great. You know, it's like,
I really think you are. You bounce a lot, man. I mean, that's the thing, like you just talked about earlier. But I remember, you remember another funny story, and we talked about in our podcast over at mutual buddies at Rosenthal's house.
Yeah.
And we smoked through everything I brought, everything I grew and brought along. And so he busts out a bag. I mean, straight out of our youth, man. It was like mom's sandwich bag. I'm like, God, this smells like fire. This looks like fire. I'm like, where'd you get it? It's like, oh, I got it from James. So I'm like, in this bag? Of course, and can't be used to baggy. So that's how I came up with doing the collab with you.
Yeah.
But I think it's those kind of stories, man, and people don't understand it's such a tight niche network. And again, you and I are even more unique in that network spans internationally. Like we have mutual friends everywhere out Europe, Australia,
every continent.
yeah, everywhere. I run into guys who are like, oh, I'm messing with James Genetics here, back east. I just share with you on IG, buddy of mine that you're working with back east. I'm like, my God, he's everywhere. He's all over the place. So you are doing. I think you're in the perfect place.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad that it's working out. You know, it's a struggle right now for some people, and I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now. Like it's a great place. You know, it's like it is a struggle. Life is a struggle. So we make it through the hard times, and then the times get better.
Yep.
And then there's more hard times in the future, but then they get better, and it's like, you know, this industry is amazing though. It's like right when you think, and the thing with TerpLoc is like you're another reason that I still believe in new things, because right when you think you got it all figured out, I'm old, right? I'm not old, but we're
Gen Xers,
and so I feel like, look, I've figured it all out, right?
Yeah.
Like that's when I thought I'd figured it out with lighting, and I didn't need LEDs. They were garbage, the blur bulbs, whatever. Now LEDs are the fucking they've perfected LEDs. They've perfected them. They've improved them to an amazing degree. Now with under canopies and all these things, but TerpLoc, it's like right when I thought I knew how to cure weed completely, along comes something that makes me go, fuck, I could have done it differently, and this makes the product better, right?
But you're open-minded. I mean, I see
trimming. I have friends that hate the trim brush. I love the trim brush. I'm a huge trim brush, finger trimming and trim brush.
Yeah.
Those are the ways.
And you rough cut like me, I noticed, with your bud. Huge props to you, man, because there are some things that need to be a little bit better trim that came out of the 80s.
Yeah.
But like, bud is not one of them. There's plenty of trikes on those sugar leaves. I love how you don't over manicure your stuff, because I'm the same way.
It's nice and velvety.
Yeah,
If they're velvety, they can be smoked. They're not going to make it harsh.
Not at all, man. So I agree with you. Like the technology, and that's what you probably noticed this as well. That's what we do love about the international market is we aren't talking to people that think they know everything. Right. They're like, hey, you're from NorCal? Man, you've seen it all. Like you've probably come a long way with some of the things you do. For sure. What is that? And I go, yeah, let me tell you, it's like the friends that send in your way at spam. It's like, oh, you want like genetics? Yeah, we're on top of our genetics. Look at what James Loud has. So there's people out there, but it seems like, to your point, internationally, they are more like us. So they're open to this being an evolution, not a revolution, an evolution.
Right.
While some others, and it is, again, more so symptomatic with domestic growers I run into, been there, done that, been doing it since I was a kid. I know everything I know. And it's like, well, things are constantly changing, man. So definitely cool stuff, dude. Well, I was stoked to catch up here. Definitely always a pleasure, man, to catch up with you.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta come do another podcast.
I do.
We gotta get your boy here on the show too.
I know, man. We gotta get. He jokes around about being my. He's only 8 years younger than me. Yet I'm his uncle, evidently, with the same last name. So gotta keep the Lambert strong in the business here. So, yeah, man. We'll love to be back on it. Emerald Cup is coming up, so I think we're gonna run up the way for that. Maybe. Yeah,
I'm getting a TerpLoc tattoo. We were talking about this.
Oh yes,
I'm getting a TerpLoc tattoo on my chest. This is real, guys.
Nothing but the best.
Nothing but the best, dude. Represent.
Definitely, man. Well, appreciate it.
Paid advertising, micro.
We're in it for life.
Good stuff. How's it going, everybody? I'm here with Nahki, who's performing at Reggae in the River 2024 on Sunday. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on this interview. Man, you're the first artist I'm interviewing. I'm good friends with Marlon Asher.
Oh, yeah?
We're going to get some good
footage
with him.
I'm a G that, man. I'm a G that. Nice. That's right.
Yeah, so what do you think of reggae? Is this your first Reggae on the River?
First. It's my first time coming to Reggae on the River. And all I can say is a wonderful vibes already.
So what part of Jamaica are you from?
Well, I'm from St. Mary. Between Kingston and Oucherias.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So I'm frequently in Kingston.
Excellent.
You know, like every day or every other day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like Oucherias.
You like Oucherias?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
20 years ago.
20 years ago?
20 years ago.
Well, I would have come forward, man.
Absolutely. I went to church in Ocho Rios on the hill. I was staying at a resort and they invited me to go to church. And they said there's a reggae band. And I said, I'm in. There's a reggae band. As the sun was coming up at dawn, they had church service on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
One of the most beautiful, amazing services I've ever been to.
Well, I live 20 minutes away from Oucherias.
Wow.
I live nearby the beach.
Yeah.
I'm doing a Airbnb there right now, like a healing center too.
Excellent.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm out here promoting my music and these initiatives.
Excellent.
To get people really involved too, you know what I mean? Because we're seeking business partners too to really bring forth this joyful thing that we call bliss, you know what I mean? Because there's too much war and violence in the world right now, so we have to do what we can do as activists to put things in place to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep the consciousness alive.
Jamaica's an amazing place.
Yes, man. I should come forward. Don't go like you don't want to come to Jamaica. You have to be in Jamaica every year. Yeah, man.
Excellent.
So you just about the strains.
Yeah.
You do mix of the strains.
Yeah, I make genetics. I do.
So, you do that now. What type of genetics? Because when you say mixed strains, you know, we as Jamaican, we smoke the natural herbs.
Yeah.
So is it, when you mix it, is it still natural?
Absolutely.
Is it still not?
So I made genetics for St. Vincent. I'm going with Marlon later this year to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're going to present to the Minister of Agriculture a collection of seeds that we made specifically for them with the banana cross. Because of the island and their history with bananas, I went there and talked about cannabis with Marlon in 2018 and 19. And so I promised that I was going to make genetics and bring it to them. This year we're coming through with our promise. We're bringing banana crosses. We have 20 different banana crosses we're gifting to the country, right?
Nice.
That can be for the country, for the people.
Give thanks.
They're meant to give out to everybody. And
Yes,
it's all about life. Life is about giving back.
Yes.
This culture and community is about giving back.
So when your genetics is a seed?
I do seeds and I do clones.
Okay.
You know,
so when you're giving away now, like say you go to Jamaica or the Trinidad and Tobago. You give away the seeds.
We give away the seeds.
Okay.
We give the
okay.
seeds to the people.
Okay.
We give
okay.
clean seeds.
Clean
We
seeds.
we test our seeds, making sure they don't have any virus,
Right.
no bacteria,
Right,
like that.
right.
So everything's pest and pathogen clean.
Okay. That's good, man.
We roll big joints.
Okay. Yeah, we need that. So what's that strain called?
This is a sour diesel times Girl Scout cookies.
Okay, so these are Girl Scout cookie. Yeah.
Actually, that one tastes more like Super Silver Haze.
Okay.
That's Super Silver.
Super yes.
The 1997 Super Silver Haze cut. How's that flavor?
Tastes good, man. Yeah. Right, how this taste. Yeah, Lion. Yeah. Yeah, man, natural mystic, man. That's joy, man.
So you need an Nahki strain
Yeah.
in Jamaica. We need a lamb's bread cross.
Yeah, man. Cross
Orange
and lamb's bread, man.
Orange Hill times lamb's bread.
Bumbo clot. You have the orange hill?
Yeah, I have some seeds from Orange Hill that Marlon got when he was in Jamaica last
Oh,
time.
yeah?
You got some Orange Hill
The
seeds?
lamb's bread and the orange hill, man.
That would be a good cross.
Yeah, man, that would be a good cross.
I don't think
And,
anybody's done that yet either that I know of. But I love both of those genetics.
Yeah, you have a next sativa down there, them call original maca.
Yeah.
It's kind of finey, but it's sativa, but it's the original sativa.
Yeah.
If you can get that strain, that would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Jamaica's
yeah.
a special place.
Yeah, it's a joy, man. It's a joy. I farmer them, man. Ganja farmer, man. When you come to Jamaica, me bring you on my farm.
Oh,
I
yeah?
have a little farm, not big.
Yeah.
Bridging them doing, you know what I
But
mean?
you grow plants.
What I'm growing? Like a mixture of, you know what I mean? Tangy, you know what I mean? Cookie. Yeah, man, when you come to Jamaica, man, me line you up on some high-grade ganja, man, some real Jamaican strain. So it's nice to be here in Humboldt County. Nice to be here in the county, man, I like. First time in Humboldt.
Yeah.
Yeah, first time here. And it's a joy.
Do you know Marlon Asher?
Yeah, just, me and him just link up a while ago.
Yeah, he's the
A
guy.
picture.
Yeah.
And thing and so
He's my connection to the scene.
to the scene.
With reggae, for
With
sure.
reggae. Cool,
He's been
man.
bringing me to reggae. I mean, I used to go to reggae shows in the 90s before I knew him. Maritime Hall in San Francisco.
Okay.
Bernie Spear with, who was it? Bernie Spear, Hika Mouse, and Zulu Spear. All for one.
Okay,
Zulu Spear's
Zulu
badass.
Spear,
And I took some mescaline, and it's like LSD, right? And the mescaline was super strong, and they come out with spears, and they're like, you know, they got traditional fucking. It's amazing.
Yeah,
You know, and
yes,
then seeing that when you're tripping, one of the most profound experiences ever. You get in the zone there, you know.
Yes, I
And Bernie Spear, you can never go wrong with Bernie Spear.
can't go wrong with you. Bernie Spears from St. Anto. He's from like a parish near St. Mary.
Nice.
So I'm from St. Mary, Bernie Spears from St. Anne. That's like next door.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Some of the most amazing musicians have come out of Jamaica. Lots of them.
Definitely. Without a doubt, you know? Yeah, man, and we are the ones them right now. We're really keeping that energy alive, keeping that spiritual energy alive in the Western Hemisphere right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what do you think? Why do you think so many amazing artists come out of Jamaica? You think it's partially the struggle and the ones that have made it past the struggle and then they can sing about it?
Well, that's a part of it. The struggle is a part of it. But the culture too, and then the bloodline itself, you know.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, black people on a whole is more lean towards art and culture.
Tuned
You
in.
know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
So the culture of Rastafari too is a big influence and why so much artists comes out of Jamaica. Because if it wasn't for really Rastafari and this music called reggae music, you know what I mean? We wouldn't say even I wouldn't even be here out here in Humboldt right now. You see me holding a conversation with the eye. You know what I mean? So it's a joy, you know, say the Haitians them that had laid and had set paved the way before I. You know what I mean? They did a wonderful work, and is that really make I can be here right now. Bob Marley, you know what I mean? Peter Touch, you know what I mean? Same Burning Spear, all of these ones.
Yeah, they paved the way for everybody
else,
man.
Names long can't call, man, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's a joy, you know what I mean? To be here as a younger generation, carry on.
To carry the torch.
Message,
And there's a lot, I feel like there's a lot of responsibility with something like that. You know, I think there's so much importance.
That's why for me, you know, failure is not an option. We can't fail.
Right.
So we have to get the real connection them. Just like how me connect with the eye now. It's so we have to go around and get the right connection them to the right people. See, make the thing flourish.
We were just talking about this earlier. When you're on the right path, things fall into place. And it's like, we're here today because of that. Both of us, you know, serendipitously.
That is it.
You know, I think it's just an amazing, beautiful thing.
About, you know what I mean?
Oh, bro.
Yeah, man, it's a joy, man.
Yeah, it's amazing when you're on the right path, right?
Yeah.
And then when you know what you're supposed to be doing on this planet, you know what I mean?
Yes.
When you have that connection, like, it's not about yourself, but when you figure out where you fit into this whole world,
it's a purpose,
that's what it's all about. Where your purpose, a purpose-driven life is the most important thing,
with the purpose, you find a mission.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then you just trod on the mission, you know?
And both music, I work in cannabis, but both music and cannabis make the world a better place. Right? At the end of all this, we're contributing to a better world. Right? And there's a lot of responsibility with that, but like, we're just doing the best we can do. We put it out there, and it's pretty amazing.
Yes, man. It's a joy, man. It's a joy. Yeah, man. Cheers. Give thanks. Rastafari, you know? Yeah, man. It's a joy. Yeah.
How's it going? I'm here with Steve at Reggae on the River 2024 Steve's from Cannifest. He's putting on an event in about a month. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to be there. What's up, Steve?
What's going on, brother? It's real good to meet you finally in person here too. And it's nice doing that here in the shade out here at Reggae on the River.
We got this nice big tent.
We got the Cannifest official lounge over here. We're kicking back. We got some retailers. We got some farmers, some makers, some of the finest hash and rosin in NorCal, some finest flour. Our Bud Bar and the Dab Bars over here, and just chilling out.
Serious,
we made this
really
little spot to kick back and
so you got an amazing
folks.
You have an amazing event coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about Cannifest?
Yeah, I would love to. Cannifest was born in 2016.
Yeah.
The first time we ran it a few times at our local fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And then they changed laws about how we could do the events.
Right.
And so we waited a few years, and then during COVID, we couldn't really do events in California, so we're like, let's take this thing on the road like we intended to anyway.
Yeah.
So we went out to Chicago and St. Louis and Oklahoma City, and then last year was the first time we had Cannifest again in Humboldt since 2018, and it was a great, cannabis family reunion, I would say.
I love it. So I'm a big fan of CannaCon. My friend Dave Mesford, who recently passed on 420, was one of the founding guys with CannaCon.
Right on.
I mean, I love the evolution of the Cannabis Cup, whether it's Emerald Cup, High Times, Cannabis Cup. The evolution of what it's turned into is really cool. And it's also turned into things like Reggae on the River that are continuing the legacy now that we can have a smoking area.
Right. Yeah, we just brought this whole zone here. It's all regulated. The DCC was here meeting with us today and all this. And
right.
Just making sure people do whatever,
Waiting for their envelopes.
Do what they're supposed to, And, It's just a community event up here. Cannabis is a bigger thing to our community up here. It's really a experience of generational kind of thing and whatnot. So
And it totally makes the world a better place, and we can all agree on that, you know?
completely. No, it brings a lot of good people together, all the people I know.
Yeah, and you look at the generations, right? We have this, I'm a little older now, and we have this up-and-coming generation of passionate cannabis enthusiasts, people that have grew up with the plant from the time they were born, right? Like,
Definitely.
with technology and the plant, and I think they're going to be carrying the torch eventually.
Well,
And,
we put the torch in our logo this year for Cannifest because we really
That's awesome.
believe that's what we're trying to do.
That's
And that's
amazing.
kind of what our community's doing right now, coming together. I feel like we're going through a cannabis renaissance.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
I
We're
really
going
do,
through a
and
renaissance.
it's bringing some of the real heads together to navigate the future. You know, that's really how it is. I mean, there's a lot of things that have shifted.
Yeah,
You know, concerts in general, festivals, and then the whole cannabis world's kind of gotten turned around in the last few years, I would say. And so we're trying to represent the future of bringing that together.
well,
We're bringing this whole thing to other events, or
sure.
we'll have our full festival proper in Humboldt and other places, you know.
yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing carrying on a legacy, right? Of something that's so much bigger than ourselves.
It is.
On all levels with the stuff that people are doing now. And I think there's still boundary pushers. There's people still changing the game, trying to make a better plant, a better product for the end user, something that's more special, that has, you know, different flavors or different effects. You know,
That's what got me into this. I started, growing my own herb.
yeah,
When I was like 16, I grew a few plants and put them out in the back of the ballpark where I grew up playing baseball and whatnot, because I learned about compost
yeah,
and that the soil was active and super rich. And I thought if I was going to plant some weed in the woods and not have to go back to it as often, I needed to find some soil that was rich, could hold a lot of moisture and nutrients and stuff. And I was learning about that shit at school. And they've been dumping all these leaf piles, but sweeping all the streets outside of Philly.
wow,
In the back of the park, they'd have been dumping this shit for 50, 60 years.
yeah,
So there were some compost piles at the far end of that were just, I planted my first plants there and the light came on.
yeah,
And then I moved to California right when they started writing scripts. And I was growing my own weed in my house. Like, as soon as I moved to California, I was like, oh, okay, now it's legal. And I have this little insurance card.
right,
And then I opened my own grow shop. So I've been helping people grow for over 23 years.
it's awesome.
And then doing the wholesale stuff. But producing this whole community events is kind of like, that's my true love. And
For sure.
that's kind of where it all comes together.
Yeah,
That's where I'm spending my time right now, mostly.
I love the collective consciousness, right? Like all this effort from people in these different directions all coming together, and events like this happening, and events like yours that are happening, and how it ties into the industry. And you know, it's pretty amazing. I was born at a time, 77, and where
76 here.
76, yeah.
Yep.
So we're the same.
Yep.
They're basically the same age, right?
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, I'm a dragon. So yeah,
Same.
yeah, fire dragon. Yeah.
Scorpio dragon. in the
But
house.
yeah, I would have the tail end of it in 77 because
Nice.
the Chinese New Year ends in
Right
February.
on.
But yeah, dude, we're in a special time because when we grew up, it wasn't popular. It wasn't the popular opinion that cannabis is okay. It was a small group of people that said, no, it is okay.
Yeah.
They're going to go to jail for it. They're going to do whatever. And the kids today are being brought up in a world that's normalizing it slowly but surely, right?
100%.
Way
yeah.
different than when we were younger. People were getting 32-year, 100-year prison sentences. Some of them even, like Richard DeLisi, served 32 years of a 100-year sentence.
100%. Yeah. No, it's a different world, and it's way more open.
Yeah, and we can be open about
It
it.
attracts more people.
Yeah.
You know, and it does, and it so many people have found the medicine because of it.
Well, we can talk about it on things like this podcast.
All the time. We can like pop up now in the middle of Reggae on the River, where everybody's been smoking weed forever.
Yeah,
So it's almost an interesting scenario being here at Reggae with like the legal weed scene
right,
in the like heart of the outlaw cannabis culture,
right.
right?
Absolutely.
So it's like originally it was like, well, I don't know how are people going to react to like legal weed in the space, but man, our whole community is so rooted in what the future of cannabis looks like,
Yeah.
and we have like legends of the past.
Legends.
It's rooted in what the future can be, truly, and it's undiscovered. I feel, and it's like
Well, the potential is so
it's
great,
turning
right?
up. Right.
Who knows what's going to happen, but the potential is so great.
Right.
You can see the direction, the trajectory is going in the right direction. At the end of the day, 100 years from now, cannabis will fully be normalized. We won't have any of the haters like we do now. I mean, there might be some haters or whatever, but it won't be the same, right?
No, 100%.
People will understand it a lot more, especially not growing up in a world where they criminalized it and they made us outlaws, right? When we were it's a plant.
Yeah.
We're talking about a plant here that they turned all of us into outlaws and said we were bad.
Yeah.
And now that's changing over, that we're normal people too. We're not hurting anybody. And I feel like as long as you're not hurting anybody, what's the harm? You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to, you should have the freedom, we live in a country of freedom.
Right.
You should have the freedom to consume things that don't hurt other people. Obviously you don't want stuff that could potentially harm somebody, but at the same time, like, we should have the right to use plant medicine too. That's just such a crazy thing, right? It's not just a plant. That's the problem, right? So it's such a special plant that it competes in the market with all these pharmaceuticals.
Right.
But they're going to have to accept it. They're going to have to. And we use plant medicine for thousands of years, and we need to go back to it, because when you talk about homeostasis and the body being in an optimal condition, cannabis can be a big part of that, whether it's neurologically or physically. So I'd say it's special.
It's a fact. Yeah, it's been bringing people together. It's around the vibe.
Yeah.
People start vibing out on their...
It makes the world a better place. It totally makes the world a better place. Events like this make my life a better place, for sure.
Right? And then being able to, like you're saying, talk about this on here and do this cannabis thing out loud.
Something that we love, right? To be able to speak about it to the world. It's just, we don't have to be in the shadows.
Right. In 2015, we did the Yes We Can community parade.
Nice.
And it was Humboldt's first cannabis parade, and the first and only, and we've done it a few times since. We'll do it again this year for Cannifest.
Yeah, really cool.
On the Sunday morning, we can march it through town, and it's a cannabis pride parade.
Yeah.
And the first time we did this, we had a whole crew of us, and we wrote all these affirmations, kind of like,
nice.
Out of the shade and into the light. And really, it is about being proud of something and to not hide what you care so much about, or necessarily be looked at in a way that doesn't even align with what's going on.
I feel you.
It is a positive way.
Man, it makes the world a better place. At the end of the day, man, it's just such a positive thing that a lot of us find comfort in it. A lot of us, our social network is built around it. I feel like it's a beautiful thing. And then this whole community was built around it, on the shoulders of cannabis.
Definitely right here at the heart of Reggae on the River. That couldn't be more true.
Right.
It's like this whole venue here at the Mateel Community Center, and the other businesses that make this happen and support what we're doing.
Trickle-down economics.
It's all built on the cannabis culture.
Yeah, I feel like if you look at the community that feeds the community, right? The trickle-down economics within the community, where it goes down, how it's supposed to work in the real world, which it doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. But in this community, it does, because these people feed the other people in the community. They buy stuff from the other people in the community. We all support each other, and I feel like the cannabis industry is really good in Humboldt, even more so, with everywhere within the money. The cash system is where it's at, though.
I've been here I lived in Humboldt for 24 years.
Yeah.
It didn't take long to figure out what was going on. As far as, I opened up a grocery store and I didn't even know anybody.
Did you have to talk about tomatoes instead of weed?
I did.
Yeah, I used to go in the 90s, Berkeley Undergarden. We had to say tomatoes.
Berkeley Undergarden, they were a great customer and a client and good friends and supporters of us for years. House and Garden was something that we brought to the U.S. and from Holland. I thought, let's connect Humboldt and Holland.
Nice.
What are they using for nutrients over there? And just tapped into that.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends in the industry. Josh Freeman, he sold to Growilla. He sold Growilla to Botanicare way back in the day.
Right on.
Organic, but I grew up in this area, so a lot of not this area, but California.
Yeah, for sure.
And so the connections are deep, It's great.
You're wrong.
And then we're all tied to the Grateful Dead, which is even more of a wild thing, right? Like there's this whole Grateful Dead tie within the Bay Area of people that love the Dead, that have great stories about the Dead, that are more or less an evolution of the Grateful Dead in our own expression, right? And that's the most amazing thing, to be part of that as well from California. It's like Lagunitas Brewery, I use that as an example all the time. Tony McGee, I believe he is an evolution of the Grateful Dead in his own expression, and just as powerful and just as amazing.
All this creative expression.
Yeah, and it's like I do my stuff, and it evolves out of the Grateful Dead. Like the cannabis scene evolved out of the Grateful Dead too.
Of course.
And other things too, but the Grateful Dead was a heavy influence and part of the reason we're here today. That whole movement 100%. In the 60s and 70s.
I mean, that's why, this year we're bringing O'Teal and friends to Cannifest with Steve Kimmock,
that is what's
Ed
up.
Melvin Seals.
I can't wait.
Jason Crosby, Steve Kimmock, son, I forgot, Johnny Kimmock.
And we're going to be doing podcasts all weekend there, so it's going to be a blast, dude.
It is going to be a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's going to be epic. We wanted to bring the festival goers together with the cannabis event goers because it's a tough thing to do. We've been to a lot of events and seen, a lot of times people don't show up for the music or they don't show up for the weed. It's like, It's always hard to hit both.
Sure.
Because of the way the laws kind of make it separate. So we've always tried our best to integrate what we're doing and normalize the herbs. So at Cannifest, we do it on a 3.5 acre park on the bay. Beautiful weekend of the year, the weekend after Labor Day. And it's always just like the weather that time of year is like, it'll be like 73 degrees and sunny.
Yeah.
It's just like the perfect weather.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're really looking forward
nice
to having
early
you out
fall,
there,
late summer vibe. Well, I mean, it's not that far from that. We're a month away, right?
Yeah, we got like 5 weeks.
So we have Reggae on the River. 5 weeks is your event, and then another 3 weeks I'm doing the Dabadoo in San Francisco for Mila.
Oh, right on.
I'm hosting it. I got Nicotine coming out.
Cool.
We got Marlon. Hopefully he's performing there.
Right on.
It's going to be very exclusive. It's not private. It's inclusive, but it's also exclusive because there's only so many seats.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like these big events. I think we can fit 70 in there. And
cool.
At least 10 guests. Ed Roosevelt's definitely going to be there, and his wife.
That's awesome. Ed came to Cannifest last year. We had an interview with me and the Royal Gold crew. And
they're amazing.
And
Ed is a character.
That's a character.
Ed and I are good friends.
Pretty sick being here, right at the back of the main bowl.
Dude, this is amazing.
That's Reggae on the River.
Blessings. Many blessings.
Woo.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Even when we're fucking around, we're not fucking around. How's it going? We're here at day 2, Reggae on the River 2024. I survived day one somehow, miraculously. I actually got sleep last night. It's incredible. We got an amazing lineup tonight. Really good music. We saw Nahki this morning, went swimming in the river, smoked a bunch of weed, did all the fun stuff, and now we're here at the booth. We've got John and Sean from Cutting Edge down there, and we're just chilling, selling books, and smoking weed with everybody. How's it going? I'm here with Sean from Cutting Edge. We're at Reggae in the River 2024. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, man. I am so glad to have Reggae on the River back. Last time I was here was like 2016, and Cutting Edge has always been a part of Reggae. So to see it come back and to be back like in a community level, not in a big corporate show out level, and like a, hey, this is the vibes, it's amazing. I'm stoked.
I love the vibe here. It's amazing. We're definitely on the same vibration. I can tell by your shirt, bro.
Yes, right?
But yeah, it's been an amazing journey so far. We're on day 2. We got one more day. I've been here since Thursday. You as well?
Yeah. It's been hot.
It's been hot. Good lineup.
Great lineup. And I think today the music is going to be just off the charts.
It's going to be wild. We got Collie Buds tonight. That's going to be great. I can't wait for that. And then Marlon tomorrow night's going to be amazing.
Yes. I always love hearing Marlon.
So what are you guys doing here? You guys are one of the main sponsors.
Yep. So we've always been a part of the Eel ever since like early 90s, before Cutting Edge even existed.
Right.
And yeah, we wanted to throw some good times, good vibes here. We're just giving out shirts, just hanging out with the community.
It's a lot of fun. You guys let us use your table. We're there slanging books.
Yep.
Smoking with everybody.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, people show up and they see the Royal Gold booth, they see the Cutting Edge booth, and they're all people that have fire.
Yeah.
So we're just trading smells, trading jars, and enjoying to see like everyone's work that they put in over the year.
I got at least 50 different samples from people. Some stuff that I've fucking never seen before. I saw some Nigerian landrace that was amazing.
Yes, did you see that nug that was just so super scraggly, but the nose on it?
Yeah. So he's
wild.
He's gonna be on. We're gonna film him tomorrow. I want him to come down and talk about podcasts and get hooked up. But yeah, and then I found the real Cut a Sour Diesel. I've been searching for it forever, and I tell people I'll look at it. But this guy was like, if it's not the real one, I won't have hurt feelings. Just tell me the truth. And he showed it to me, and I was like, I can't believe it's the real one. And I wanted it almost not to be the real one. I had my mindset that it was going to be another fake version, or not even fake,
but
just not the pheno that I remember, right? And so I was totally blown away to smell that smell after all these years. And because sometimes I think your memory can be mistaken. After time passes, your memory might interpret things differently, right?
Right.
But then when you smell it, you're like, oh no, my memory was right. They weren't the right ones. All these years
smelling, and you're like, you want it to be that sour. You want it to be that, and just like the Super Silver Haze, that flower you showed me yesterday, I gave it to John, and he was like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like the vision quest is over. But to find the original sour, I'm still looking for it.
I have it over in a sample over in the booth. We're gonna smoke it a little bit.
We're gonna have to go smoke that.
Well, the funny thing with the sour that I remember is it wasn't just burnt tire, burnt rubber smell, which most of the sours I've seen are more on that with a very little bit of citrus.
Right.
And this one has the balanced citrus. It's loud. Like when you open the bag, and this was depths, and you open the bag, I was like, wow. So yeah, pretty impressive.
It's like the funk that hits you. But that's the thing, is like it's always burnt tires. That's what people think sour is now, and it's not. If you don't have that citrus back,
it has to have this citrusy balance, right? And it's also got this pungent funk to it too. But yeah, it's like nose burning, and not just from the burnt tire, because that's what people think sour is too.
Right.
I would say that most people, all the people that have shown me sour last year, sorry guys, but it's been that burnt tire Chem 91-ish smell more than the sour that I remember.
Right.
So
what do you have there?
Oh, dude, this is something special. That's a Super Silver Haze joint that I rolled.
Nice.
But
I think you gave me one of those last night.
Yes. Donnie Burger, live rosin from Florian Flame.
Whoa, let me see.
Smell that.
Whoa. I really am enjoying anything Donnie Burger. Like,
Well, so I have.
that's delicious.
This is the best I've had.
Wow.
I'm not super impressed with the flour, but as far as a washer, and then I have GMO rosin here, so we were smoking the GMO and then this and comparing it, and you can definitely tell the lineage in that. All we need is some Chem D, and then we could really do the trifecta. But yeah.
Wow. And the dip device too. So do you know Matt from Dip Device?
I do not. I got this at Squash Off in Barcelona.
It's really funny because I was in a hotel in Mexico City for a cannabis conference, and it's actually where I bought this shirt.
Nice.
But I ran into Matt at the hotel bar because he didn't know Spanish and he was trying to order a beer.
Oh, wow.
And we started talking and he gave me one of these and I was like, no way, I'd never seen this before. And now you see them everywhere and
So I'll tell you what, I do like my nectar collector. My boy Uncle Stoner, big ups Uncle Stoner, but he gave me a nectar collector at the Squash Off in Barcelona this year, and I love that thing. I love for the terps, but this is the convenience right here, and it doesn't get more convenient, especially if you like extract and you don't want to smoke big dabs. You can smoke 50 of these in an hour, and you'll probably be high, but you'll feel really good.
That's delicious. That's absolutely
super clean. Floor and Flame, they're metric. They're down in Oakland. They do living soil and soil beds, 2-tier, game changer. I feel like Chris Castle, he's an owner and head grower. He is amazing. He just crushes it, and he believes in living soil. And I also love living soil. I use cocoa. I do other substrates. For my mom's, I use Grodan, but living soil for flavor, it's hard to beat.
You really can't. I mean, I know it even being on the fertilizer side of things.
Yeah.
There's certain things you're looking for and different expressions you get from either really good biology or just straight feeding programs.
Oh, yeah.
You have a plant in Rockwool in a commercial facility versus a living soil.
It's a whole different product,
You're
right?
going to see a completely different end product.
Well, the expression is different. And the effect, especially I would argue that the effect is different in almost 100% of my experiences with it. If you have two things side by side, you're going to get a different effect.
Yeah, especially if you look at the terpene profile, just the actual terpene profile,
terpenes by itself. Yep. But also, they look different, and I think a lot of people love that Instagram weed, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to put anybody down for liking beautiful looking flower, right? But at the same time, some of the ugliest shit I've smoked over the years is some of the best shit.
Yep.
And so you can't count out the ugly kid,
Exactly. Well, I mean, you get like a really funky IPA that's brewed in someone's basement, and it might be the best beer you've ever had, but you can't make 12, 30 racks of that real quick.
No, and
that's where PBR comes in.
You can't even replicate those again sometimes.
Exactly.
They're like, it's like, and that's the boutique flower, it's like it's grown once and it's a certain way. Well, the same guy grows it and it's slightly different variables, right? So whether the humidity was just slightly different or the temperature was slightly different because the outside temperature threw it off, or the outside humidity had impact, it can come out not completely different, but it can come out a slightly different expression. And just like microbrew, where you're doing, and I love that about boutique products. I think the market needs consistency with products like Cutting Edge, right?
Sure.
But on the grower side, just like on the microbrew side, we can have those boutique products that have slight variation and appreciate them equally.
Exactly.
And you guys have a really good product too. It's very consistent. You guys believe in the plant. I feel like John is a amazing contributor to everything that we've done here. The reason I'm here, the reason you're here is because of people like John, and they're the generation that we really need to acknowledge now while they're still here.
Yeah.
And it's great to be part of all this and having him here and seeing these younger kids too. We got younger kids coming on that are in their 20s and they're excited about cannabis. They're excited about nutrients.
It's beautiful
and
to
all
see.
the other things. Yeah, it's beautiful, dude. And it's there's so many different directions you can go and be successful, but there's nothing better than getting started early and finding what you love when you're young.
Yeah, exactly. And people like John, that's how they started.
Yeah.
John started growing when he was 14, hitchhiked his way out here and started growing in the hills and learned from other people.
Right.
This isn't something that you can just, nowadays it's a little different. You can pull up something on the internet and learn how to grow weed, but to really do it from the heart and of what the culture really is, you got to learn from the other people that have started before you.
Right, and if we go generational, like we can learn from the previous generation who learned from the previous generation. If we think we can do it all ourselves, we're kidding ourselves, right? And so improvement happens over time, whether it's breeding or whether it's nutrients and understanding how to make the plant work more efficiently, grow better, improve the quality. Like we're doing the same thing, but two different sides of the coin, right?
Right, exactly.
We're both trying to make the plant express itself better or help the plant become optimal, right?
Yeah, because
like
we don't drink
genetics or
PBR.
nutrients. No,
and we don't want to have that.
I will
be
drink
our
a PBR
culture.
every once in a while.
Yeah, sure.
Today, actually, but
sure.
I
And I'll have a crappy pre-roll every once in a while too. But that's not what we want to see for this industry or for this culture, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. I mean, the work that you're doing from a genetic standpoint, from a culture standpoint, it's like ungodly, like absolutely amazing.
Oh, I'm just filling my part of the gap of the industry. You know what I mean? I feel, and when you find what you're doing in the industry that you were supposed to be doing with your life, it's a really good feeling. I mean, I know that you can relate because I feel like you're doing exactly what you were meant to do on this planet. You're following in John's footsteps and really have stepped up, and it's amazing to see that generational where you can see it firsthand where the two generations are still there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not the case. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, I mean, in our situation, like I don't have to do anything, right? I'm doing this because I want to. And John brought me to a hill when I was 14.
Yeah.
That changed my life. That made me move west. That made me understand something different about the plant.
Yeah.
And then I get to the point where, okay, John's in his late 60s. What is cutting edge going to be? Corporate companies offer us a buyout, and I look at that and go, John, we could be offered $1 billion with a B. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
We're not taking the money because it's not about that, and nobody else is going to stand up and do that. And we've watched it happen over and over with all of our competition. So we've got to kind of stand up and fight for the community.
Someone's got to stand up and fight.
Exactly.
For sure. I mean, it's happened over and over. We look at all these nutrients companies that have sold out to bigger companies, and then they change the formula or do whatever. Right. And it's hard when you take the lifeblood out of a company that built it from the ground up, and you lose that for sales.
Yeah. You can't sell your soul for sales.
No,
you can, and people do it, but that's not where I'm going.
You can't really sell the soul of the company either.
Right.
Like companies, I mean, you could sell a company, you can sell intellectual property, you can sell recipes, you can sell genetics, you can sell these things that we can quantify, but like on the level of the soul of the company that built that company, that struggled to be successful, you can never fully sell that because it's hard to even describe what it actually is, for one thing. And it's like, because it's so many little things that have happened over a period of such a long time, typically, like for you guys, and the evolution of where John came from to get where you guys are now is wild. You know, but even you, from the time you were 14 to where you're at now, so many things have happened.
So many.
That have, so many things in the world that have happened. And then, I mean, on top of that, so many things that have happened to you.
Yeah.
It's just, this is an amazing story, and it's amazing to be part of all this. I mean, it's beautiful. And then we're here at Reggae. It's funny coming home, and it feels like coming home, and I see a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time. I'm seeing people I've never met before who watch the podcast, which is amazing.
That's a cool feeling.
People that have grown my genetics, they're giving me genetics back.
Wow.
Hearing stories about my genetics being grown 10 years ago and stuff like that, where, it's funny how people remember stuff and, and how we're interpreted in the industry, and it's like,
This is the community.
This is the community.
This event, this is the cannabis community for Northern California. This
is the heart of the cannabis community, and there's so many other aspects of it, but this is like where modern cannabis came from, is these hills, and more so the mental side of it. So as far as people smoke weed all over the world, right? But how it evolved in Humboldt, and people had to go hide out and grow indoors. We wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for Humboldt, because they were going outdoors and didn't want to get caught, so they started growing indoors. Now indoor is super popular, and there's nothing wrong with either one. I love indoor, I love outdoor, I love mixed light and greenhouse, and you name it.
Yeah.
But we're here because of the people in this community. They push this forward so that we can be here today.
Reggae on the River has always been like a buying show.
Yeah.
It's always been July, end of July, early August.
Yeah,
because
first week of August,
first deps are done. Everyone's here slinging packs. Like that's what it was always
That's
like.
what it was before.
And that's
now
why
it's
people
everyone's
would
just sharing.
show.
But I feel like now is, I don't see the people slanging packs. There's like people maybe hustling a little bit, but what I see is people that are passionate about weed sharing samples and giving samples to each other, and like us talking about stuff. And us seeing landrace genetics. That Nigerian was crazy. That sour diesel that I saw was crazy. I've gotten joints from a ton of people. I saw this crazy flower from last year. I smoked some flower. I smoked the White Florida Rose that was from last season. That was really good.
That was
you
really
did too.
good.
You
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, and John gave me that 3 months ago. I preserved it, and like I was like saving it, and couldn't be a better place than Reggae to smoke that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely some really good weed going around.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Really?
There's a lot of mediocre stuff too. But there is some really, I mean, you're going to find good stuff here. There's people that love weed and people that just know weed. And I saw some old school hash too. I just smoked some.
You saw Sunshine's hash?
Sunshine's hash was really good. She's going to come on the podcast. I smoked some with the Dipper.
Great.
And,
that stuff's amazing.
Well, and that's like the nostalgic side of cannabis where there's not a huge market for anything like that. But when I see something like that, I'm like, oh yeah, I like smoking that. And I hit it and I'm like, reminds me of 1996.
Yep.
You know, when we got hash in the Bay Area, and like it's got that pliability. It's not full melt or anything like that. It's not supposed to be. It's just good
like
hash.
Play-Doh.
Yeah, exactly. That has that kind of funky sandalwood smell. There's like hers had like this distinct sandalwood smell that I remember from the 90s. Like when I rub my fingers together, I'm like, just remember that smell. So
a little bit of pine comes through, and you're like, oh, that's the hash.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
And that hash smell.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Dude, of course. Well, I hope that we can link up soon. And
we need you down on the podcast.
Come on down.
I'm here with Uncle John from Cutting Edge. He is a legend, and I'm happy to be here with you. We're sharing a booth. We're doing great things. You guys are doing great things. It's lots of fun. How's Reggae for you?
Hey, it's great to be back. Reggae is back, and that's the news. Yeah. Sold out yesterday.
Completely sold out.
Completely sold out.
The venue's great. I love this place. I've been coming for a long time. 24 years.
Wow.
24 years was my first Reggae. And I love it. It's like coming home. It's like seeing I'm seeing old friends. I'm seeing new people I've never met. I get to see people that I see all over the world, like you guys.
I get to see a lot of people, a lot of different new varieties that they've been working on.
Yeah.
I smoke them. And when I get really high, I think that I know that person. Why do I know that person? It's actually the son or daughter of somebody. And I haven't seen the son or daughter for like 15 years. And now they're in their 20s, right? I'm like, whoa. It's the legend of all of this continues through them.
It's amazing. I was talking with Sean about being the second generation, and people like yourself that we're on your guys' shoulders. You guys really push the industry forward. We wouldn't be here today with legalization and everything without people like yourself. They cared enough, and even though it was illegal, said it's not right. And the world needs people like that. And I think that now it's our responsibility, like my responsibility with my podcast, with my genetics, the things I do. That's where I fit in the industry. And, it's amazing seeing people like yourself still in the industry working with Sean. And, I think he's doing a great job. He's an amazing person. And you guys are pushing forth this company that's going places and that has good ethics and a consistent product. So,
family business, everything is made in-house, chemistry, microbiology and plant pathology labs in-house. We trust our own work, because if we don't get it right, we take more samples and we get it right, for sure. And just like you do, you feed on and you follow a certain pathway, and then you're not happy and you back up and you go another direction.
We do a lot of backing up. It's part of that process is going and trying things and going, okay, this is great. This is great. These 10 things are not great. And how can we move forward with that to where we're serving the plant the best, to where we're optimizing the plant for specific environments. I think we're both here to do the same thing, is improve the plant, or not even improve the plant, but make it as optimal as possible, the outcome. Whether it's through nutrition, whether it's through genetics, they're both key elements to growing amazing flower.
It's true. You know, we've always used our fertilizer to work with people who want to express terpenes.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a chef, you're into these flavors.
I'm all about the flavors, you know, and I've gone back to effect too, though, and I feel like you just have a really consistent product. You have a good recipe along with it, and then customer service is great. I've always appreciated what you guys have done as a company and how you stand in the industry. You guys are all everyone that works for the company is proud to work for the company. Yeah, everyone believes in the product, and that says a lot.
Yeah, I like it when one of the workers I overhear them talking to somebody else and they say, I love what I do, so I don't go to work every day.
Yeah.
It's not work. And because, you know, we're always working on something new. We're working with new people or helping people turn around crops. You know, they're in different soils. They're people that get your genetics and they want to repeat your results. And I say, it's 108 degrees out here. Right. You know, it's going to be different, but it's going to be worth it. So keep going.
Right. Push forward.
Push forward.
Yeah, so I was talking to one of your employees. He's been working with the company for 20 years, and he's here at Reggae hanging out and having a good time.
With his daughter.
With his daughter, yeah.
Right, so Miguel has been our production manager for over 20 years. Yeah, we moved to Oregon. We moved to White City, across from Medford, but I took all the employees with me and their families. I don't leave anybody behind. How do you have quality and consistency if you move and then hire all new people? But his daughter Raina is also here, and she's like, I think 24 now.
Yeah.
But she started working for the company when she was 5. Wow. I gave her a time card, and she'd come after school, and she'd get little tasks to do in the office, you know, clean the keyboards or whatever. She's 5 years old.
Child labor laws back then were different.
Oh yeah, there's big fines for that.
Yeah.
But you know, she's like family.
Yeah.
And now she's our in-house coordinator of shipping, production, and office. So she oversees everyone and make sure that everything is flowing. And she knows how to do that just by looking at people. Imagine growing up in a company and watching these people, watching your father, and how he deals with people for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, now it's instinctive and intuitive what's going to happen. And so she's always ahead of the game. It's great. So that's why we don't need a big company. We just need a tight, well-run company.
Well, and you yourself have legacy in the industry. You a good legacy. You've left behind a good legacy. We did a podcast together. We're doing another one soon with Sean.
Yeah,
you guys are
great.
coming down. I'm looking forward to it. And you guys can check out the facility. I'm doing some trials with different nutrients right now, so I'd love to show you kind of what we're doing and the direction we're going, and it's a lot of fun.
The fun continues. And yeah, you know, I guess I went from being infamous to somewhat famous, but I worked really hard to never have a search warrant fulfilled on me or a felony filed on me.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
That's not easy in this industry. Now, we can't all say the same, but you know, we do our best.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that, like, I think people, it's a tough time for a lot of people in the industry. The guys growing flower where it's like a race to the bottom, you know, but you got to keep putting one foot in front of the other and moving forward. And you know, you didn't just blow up overnight. You've put in a lot of hard work over many years, you know, that started in the black market and then evolved into an amazing business that you have today.
Yeah, you know, I started in 1978.
Yeah.
So there wasn't even traditional or black market even used. You were just an outlaw. So yeah, the outlaw days brought me up into where Proposition 215 passed, and then I saw an opportunity to work more closely with different PhD scientists. One of them being Eleanor Kuntz and Kieran Law at LeafWorks. And they're PhD plant geneticists, and other small groups like that I was able to build on my knowledge base and also get deeper into what plants need, because we have a whole palette of things we can custom blend for you that we know work a certain way, that you can see the result of a certain couple of terpenes or a terpene pop up. So
and more and more we're talking about the chemical expression, so chemovar, something that you can get consistent results with, where it's going to give you the same chemical compounds at the end consistently each run you do it, which using the sun is very difficult, but in an indoor environment I think it's possible, where for synthesizing different drugs using cannabis or creating stuff using the whole drug discovery we're just scratching the surface of, but it takes a consistent product. And it's amazing. It's amazing what you guys are doing, though.
And I kind of backed off on growing so I could move forward into traveling as much as I do to all these different operations.
Going to Colombia. You're doing the Colombian Cup down there. You guys do that every year.
We do the Caribbean Cup, and we've actually helped influence people through working with Black Tuna Seed Company in Santa Marta, Colombia.
Amazing people. I love Black Tuna.
Carlos Vives, great guy, and Sergio, who works for them, is great at going out and fighting seed. He's got
So Carlo was busting knowledge on me about Colombian gold and why it's called Colombian gold, and then he was telling me about how Panama, it's the same exact genetic line, but it expresses differently because it's in Panama. Same thing with what most people know as Oaxacan is actually the same Colombian land race that's expressed differently in both Panama and in Oaxaca.
Right. In fact, Sergio now has the cleanest lines of landrace Puta Roja. And so now they're running trials, like acres of trials.
That's amazing.
At their farm, at the Black Tuna Seed Company farm, and Sativa Nativa, in order to actually see this trend come out. So we're changing fertilizer requirements on some of these plants to try to adjust to see those differences, to see Panama Red come out of Puta Roja. So
really cool.
And there's other varieties there too. And a lot of this last Caribbean Cup on July 26th, we had a lot of they invited a lot of growers out of the mountains. The Sierra Nevada the Madre Mountains are right there. They're 18,000 feet tall and snow-capped, right behind Santa Marta. So imagine all the different climatic changes on the front of the mountain that faces the Caribbean, and on the backside that faces the Magdalena River and the plains.
Right.
So we're
two different microclimates. They're similar. They're in locations that are similar, but completely different in climate changes, or not climate changes, but completely different environments.
Just like in Hawaii, where you have, a shade curtain of rain over one side, the other side's dry. So
it's kind of like Sonoma and Cazadero. Cazadero is like the northernmost part of Sonoma, but it's completely different as far as like compared to Sebastopol, as far as climate, and like that banana belt up there is extremely special.
And you go up to Gualala, and there's an actual banana belt close to the coast that doesn't pull in fog.
Right.
And I knew people that were growing there in the in the late 70s, and their herb was coming out amazing. Wow. And they were getting seed from Oaxaca to grow there.
Amazing.
That's really cool. The Oaxaca is totally different. But we're down to Oaxaca too, and Guadalajara, Costa Rica, and Colombia. Basically, we're working with any growers that are passionate about growing their plant.
Yeah.
You know, there's no time for people that just want to, we're just going to spend $50 million, create this facility, blow up a couple of different strains, and we're going to push, unicorn poop out.
Yeah, that happens all the time, though. Yeah, right? That happens. The funny thing is like, we joke about, like, fuck, but it happens all the time. These guys are like, we're going to make money off this.
And that's not only true in cannabis, that's true in everything. And it's true. I was up at White Salmon Vineyard in the fall because I also go up to Yakima, and there's some growers up there that I like to drop in and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's Peter Brem's winery, and he's got a vineyard. He just turned 90. I went out, walked the field with him, went up the hill, smoking a joint. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm going, I think this is the year I'm going to retire. And I'm like, Peter, when you were 76 years old and you said that, and I said it was too soon, now it's too late. I go, you're such a legacy that you actually have to die in this vineyard.
Yeah.
And he goes, what do you mean? I go, do you realize that I can never retire either? I have to die in the field. This is who we are.
That's what happens at a certain point,
At a certain point, you're like...
Look at Jerry. Hey, look at Jerry. He's the example, man. You got to follow. But, once you've created this legacy, walking away from it, you'll never be able to walk away from it. This is who you are, And I feel the same way where, like, I'm not... This is what I love doing. I'm doing it. And, I see people like yourself that have become successful and are just passionate about the plant. It's inspiring. It's definitely inspiring. So.
Yeah, people. I was talking to the Caribbean Cup about you, as a matter of fact, your seed company, and they're like, "Oh man, we know we're going to win with our flower, but we looked at the seed varieties and James Loud seeds weren't there." And I was like, "Yeah, we couldn't get everywhere quickly enough in order to be able to bring them down.
Yeah,
but next year we'll make a point of doing it." And he was like, "Yeah, I look at what James Loud's doing, and it's super impressive. And he's a lot younger guy, but that's what you're looking at. People think, wow, if you can do it through all the hard work and sacrifice and be where you are now and be happy, they want to be there too, one day."
At the end of the day, we all serve a purpose on this planet. Pride is a weird thing, but to be proud of being part of all this, that's where I'm at. I'm just happy and excited that I get to be a part of this every day. I love what I get to do. I feel like I found my place. I found my people, and it's just an amazing community of people that really care about something bigger than themselves. And there's so many faces I get to see at events like this, events like the cups that I've been to over the years, and like really passionate people that are part of the community, and they've done something to move the plant forward, however they've done it,
Yeah, even if forward is in a direction you don't think is really good because you don't agree with the genetics they're working with, you gotta appreciate the work they put in order to get there.
Well, legacies are built over a lifetime, and I think one of the biggest things is you're on the right path when stuff falls into place, right? When stuff's crazy and it falls apart, sometimes you just have to have the guts to keep going, but you're really in the right place when it starts falling into place, right? Like serendipity, like you get serendipitous events where you meet someone twice, 3 times, 4 times, and good people you're doing business, and unintentionally you start working with them and they do good business.
Exactly. I've come across so many good people just in the United States that have held on to things. Like the guy that won the cup for Sour Diesel in Rhode Island uses our products, and he got his Sour Diesel seed from his friend whose dad grew Sour Diesel out here. Wow. in Redway in like the early 90s.
Crazy.
So he was able to start a bunch of that seed and just get a few seeds to pop.
Yeah.
And a couple of them were female, and he just ran with it. And now 2 years later, He's, you know, it looks like the right structure. It has the right smell. It has the right smoke.
So you gotta check out what I got today. But I smelled it and I'm like, that's it. Absolutely it. It's not just the burnt tires. It's got the citrus back to it, where it's real loud and bright. But it's not just burnt tires, which is like more like Chem 91 side, where it's all kind of got that chemi smell. I love sour, and to see that here, this is the perfect place. Of course, it's going to be a Reggae, you know.
Well, this is what Reggae on the River is all about. It's our community. It's about people coming around and coming together. And there are people out in these hills still that are just growing the real pineapple, like the real original pineapple. And they have this little market niche that they sell to, and they don't grow a lot.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right.
And, you know, you can completely miss it. Sometimes I feel like I'm going down the freeway at 90 miles an hour. Yeah. I'm missing my exit, you know, to get to these people.
Yeah, it's funny. Some of the guys go on the old school stuff, especially, you know, I mean, there's a niche market for it. I wouldn't say that it's wanted by everybody, but like, I think a lot of people, if they were shown it in the right condition, they get to smoke it, they'd be like, oh yeah, I really like that. You show them and it's not purple and you're in the city, they're like, no, this super silver haze, I don't know about this stuff. And it's like, how can you not like that? Dude, you have to see the super silver from Floor and Flame. That's my friend Chris Castle that grew that.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, he's the steward of that cut. It's from tissue culture, from apical biotech. But that is one of my favorite cuts. I love that. I love the effect of it. I love the smell. It's unmistakable.
It smells just like the original Super Silver that I first saw in 1979.
Oh, wow.
Now, without seeing the plant, that's one thing. He's got a more compact flower.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's using modern fertilizers. I mean, stuff that didn't exist in 1979.
Right.
So, you know.
You didn't have a ton of options in 1979. You know?
Oh, you had bone meal.
Yeah. Bone meal, yeah, compost and bone meal, you know?
Yeah.
So there was options. I mean, people have been growing plants for a long time. It's gotten, and the thing is I can say that in the 90s, the biggest problem with nutrient companies is they had recipes and they were never good by themselves. And now that's different. Now there's a lot of testing done, like companies like yourself, where you actually test the recipes. You can follow your recipe to the T and get amazing results. You know, and a handful of other companies, I feel like they do the same, where they put forth the effort. They give you the real recipe. There's no hidden secrets. It's a good recipe, and not even a base recipe. You just follow that recipe and you get good results.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, we have an HPLC and a GCMS, but, yeah, you know, us having to test everything in order to know what it is, people can just send the customer or the breeder can just send it into a lab.
Yeah.
And they can get the results. It's a lot less work for us, and I'm happy for that. And plus, it's like a third-party testing, too.
Yeah.
So it's even better.
Well, it's like, we weren't doing all the testing, even with genetics. I wasn't doing the testing like we're doing now. It's like we test everything. We have COAs for all our flowers, all our phenotypes that we keep. We have COAs. And the model for us is to be able to show the finished product, right? And right now I'm doing a trial with LED versus HPS with the same cultivars so that customers can see. When you grow it under HPS, it's like this. When you grow it under LED, it's like this. These are both good results. What do you prefer? What do you have? And then what's optimal for your environment, right? So like, you want a specific amount of grams per watt. These are the options that you have if you're trying to go for that. If you're going for this specific herb profile, if you have an HPS, it might do, like Blue Dream does way better under HPS in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. It needs that big, deep red.
It needs that heat too,
Yeah.
And it just sway the heat. Yeah, it just swells up there. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how the plant morphs or changes.
Yeah.
With not just with time, but with what we're talking about, the evolution of the fertilizers, the biologicals used, the soils, and the lighting. And the lighting is the big one.
And so stuff they used to really figure out now with LEDs and concentrated PPFD, when you get it right in there, it doesn't get the foxtails like it used to some of the stuff. You have shape, but they don't get the foxtails. So I think a lot of that has to do with heat too, because we used to go with HPS for everything. And I love HPS.
Oh, yeah.
I don't love what it does for the environment, but LEDs are definitely more efficient. I don't know. I like mixed light the best. I think that's the future of the industry anyway, is we're all going to go towards mixed light because we can use the sun. The sun creates amazing flavor molecules, whether we're talking about phylls, terpenes, flavorants, whatever you want to call them. The aroma is impacted by the sun in a good way.
Right. And the sun spectrum it changes. It's not even a constant like the solar flare that happened this summer, right?
Yeah.
That almost knocked out all our cell service. You don't think that affected plants? People don't even know really what that did for a lot of their plants. They see changes in what elements it picks up.
Cannabis, as opposed to other plants in agriculture, cannabis is a very resilient plant that can adapt to almost any environment. Whereas some of this over time with climate change and these climates changing so much, we'll see what happens to the natural agriculture that does really well. That may change from region to region. It's like, because we're experiencing hotter days on Earth than we've ever had, and not in our lifetime, but probably in the last 100,000 years.
Yeah, I mean, I see just in the Rogue Valley before I left, so many people switching to red shade cloth. Wow. And the difference between 25% and 50%. And I looked at 50%, and veg time was shorter, the structure was better, and I don't know how it's going to end up, but for instance, West Coast Farms up in Talon, they use the 50% shade cloth. Yeah, very start, and 50% that takes a lot of sun out, but it's amazing. You hold a infrared gun on the soil outside, it's 145. You step inside and it might be 108 or 110. And that's huge. And then you put it under the plant and it's, might be in the low 90s. And then the canopy might be in the high 80s. And so now all of a sudden, that's a big shift right there.
It's a huge game changer for cultivation and not stressing the plants out. You get plant going above 105 and it's not going to be happy. Even above 90, it's not. Up here, it gets above 90 every day, right? But
right.
Talking about 105, that's no good.
Right. Well, the plant respirates so it can drop its temperature as long as it has moisture.
Yeah.
But I years ago I went to one garden and the person was like freaking out because their plants were getting spots on them and all these different deficiencies. And I'm like, you're using our fertilizer, you're getting deficiencies? And he guy was really, really worried. So I went up and I checked out his place. It was in Willits.
Yeah.
And I said, great. So you think you're planted at the edge line of an oak forest. But what's happening is the sun has shifted from being high to now it's being low and it's hitting all the bags. And he goes, no, he goes, it's not happening. I go, okay, I'll come back tomorrow afternoon and we'll see what's going on. And I'll bring a thermometer, a soil thermometer. And his soil was like at 118 degrees. I go, this is great because you've killed all the bacteria and fungi in the soil. So you're completely reliant on injecting fertilizer.
Yeah.
And the type of plant you're growing doesn't want that. He's growing like AK-47, which we know is totally adaptable. But when you strip out the soil and high heat like that, it's done just like it.
Might as well just go rubble outside. You might as well, to be honest. Like,
right.
That's the beauty of using soil. You're taking away the most valuable part of using a substrate.
Right. But those black grow bags, right?
Yeah, they get hot. They cooked, yeah.
He didn't believe it. I said, put your hand in it. He went, oh. I go, yeah. Imagine if you're a root. You have nowhere to go.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today, man. It's been a pleasure. We getting you down to the Bay Area. Come check out the facility. We got a lot of fun stuff to show you.
Hey.
So, yeah. How's it going? We got Michelle here, Horizon Girl at Instagram. We're Instagram friends.
Yes.
And we've met once before. And I'm so glad to have you come talk with me for a little bit. It's an amazing Reggae on the River. How's it for you?
Thanks for the invite. It's been so much fun. It's been really, really, really hot.
Awesome.
But we've been able to do this dab bar. I was invited to be a dab tender originally. And Steve asked me, Stevie Gieder, he asked me to, do you want to just leave that because, like, the other person backed out? I was like, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I want to, like, get everybody baked?
You guys got some really good flavors over there. I love the fact that they have a rec area where you can consume. Consumption areas are always like, we need to move those forward a little bit faster, across the state especially. It's like consumption lounges, it's a natural progression for cannabis.
They're important.
Yeah, especially for normalizing the plant.
It's important for the community, and it's just really important in general. In the 215 era, I come from the 215
Me too, yeah.
And back then, I made tinctures, and I brought my flowers to different dispensaries locally. And the furthest place I brought it to was Englewood. True story. But back then, when the dispensaries came out and they had these lounges, like for example, Hemp Center had this stage where people could play music, couches all around. The bar was like the first place that had the bar where they had the alcohol, the volcano, the bongs, and they like just did it for you.
I still love the volcano.
Yeah, it was still actually shade of tall trees. Steve and I we found the volcano parts, like some of these old volcano parts. We just like caught a couple volcanoes.
Assembled one together.
Yeah. We just we're like, let's just check this stuff out. I don't know what we spent. Right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff is still nostalgic.
Very. Yes.
Hot knives.
Yeah. Hot.
Gravity bog.
No, hot dabs. Like literally.
Oh.
Okay,
I can't do hot dabs. I don't like hot dabs.
It's I have asthma.
Me too. That's all.
Typically, I will smoke I like to do the hash bowl. Infamous Sauce makes this nice hash bowl. I do the wand.
Yeah.
I love the wand because it's like you can hit it hot. I mean, hot for wand, right? And get like that, hit. But then at the end, you can like actually taste more. I love watching the waterfall cascading down the down the
I like terps. I like flavor.
Yeah.
I like effect too. Don't get me wrong. I like effect too.
Man, Punch has Whitethorn.
Wait, who has Whitethorn?
Punch has Whitethorn. And so
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, as far as effect.
This has been a great event, though. I've noticed with the crowd, everyone's been on a good vibe.
Nice.
Loving the event.
Yeah.
They're stoked they can come over here and roll. We have, this rolling table. People are like, what? I can just roll some joints? Yeah, and they come back later, get more. Yeah.
We're on 50 joints in 2 days so far.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So we get smoked out, Steve. We should get Steve over here to smoke that.
Yeah. Oh, we will. Did you want to try it? You want to show you the extracts?
What's that?
I've got some Donnie Burger from Flora and Flame. It's live rosin, organic living soil.
Sweet.
We got the little dabber here.
Oh, Afghan gushers.
Well, that's the container. But really, it's Donnie Burger.
Oh, it's Donnie.
And so I really like Donnie Burger.
The genetics on that?
Donnie Burger, I believe, don't get me wrong, but I believe it's a S1 of GMO.
That's what I'm smelling like onion.
I have GMO in right behind there, that tent. I have GMO rosin, and so we were smoking all the way. Like, it's definitely related. You could really tell.
Yeah, well, it's like you get that onion thing going on. Wait, what?
So all you do is push this down and then touch the hot end to a little piece of extract, and it makes
a honey dabber.
It is, yeah. It's like the nectar collector, but
like
electric.
All right, thank you.
And it's fun and convenient. I really like it for events like this, to where I want to try 50 different things in a day. And
oh, that's so neat.
Isn't that so good?
Ceramic.
It is.
It's so much better than the previous things I've tried.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And you got to come on a podcast. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, on.
We've had some really amazing people in the last year come on, and I'd love if you could contribute.
Thank you so much. It's been a blast doing this, so thank you. Yeah. Oh, that was beautiful. The lemon. Wait, you gave me strawberry, banana, cherry.
Yes.
I took some pictures of that. That's so beautiful. I've been telling people, I'm like, come check this
It does look good, but it also tastes good.
I can't wait. Well, I just don't want to destroy the structure yet. I'm like, I'll get to that point. I'll have my little one-hitter. I'll get to it.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How's it going, everybody? I'm here with Steve, the rosin maker, production expert, all that good stuff for Tall Tree Society. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to me, man. It's a pleasure to have you. We got to try some of your amazing rosin yesterday. It was spectacular. You gifted me with an amazing gram of some really, really good stuff. Some flour, too. The flour was actually really good. Super terpy. It was good. It was really nice.
Thank you so much.
Everything about it was good. And you could probably wash it and make some amazing extract with that same exact flour.
Absolutely. Tall Tree Society, we're actually based out of Redwood Valley in Mendocino County.
Nice.
And we actually are completely single source in terms of where we get our flour material to make wash hash and squished into rosin.
That's the best.
Like when I clock out of the hash lab for the day, I walk out and right in front of me is the greenhouse that has the mothers and the plants all on other greenhouses surrounding as well.
So you have a grower, your head of cultivation is looking for an optimal day to harvest. Are you involved with that as well?
I've actually had the opportunity to go walk through the greenhouses with the CEO and the garden crew who are tending the next round's harvest and comparing the genetics. And one thing I love is the CEO was the one who was squishing the rosin before I came along and had took the offer that he gave me the opportunity for.
Yeah.
And we get to go through, and he honestly hears my input about what in the past from being a manufacturing specialist to make very wonderful solventless products.
Yeah.
And hears that and very much agrees.
Yeah.
Like it's been wonderful hearing him take the wisdom I've learned and applying it to his own grow, basically his own garden.
Nice. Yeah, it's really cool. So I'm doing an event October 1st. I want to invite you. I've been inviting random people throughout the weekend that are involved with hash, but I'm working with Mila. We're doing a Dabadoo in San Francisco at Chronic Culture. So, we're going to have a contest. We're going to have a few different categories. I'm also having an old school hash category. We're going to have obviously rosin, because rosin's where it's at right now, but I'm going to have a bubble category as well. And there's a heavyweight belt that's going to be given away for the Dabadoo. We got to say, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's exclusive, but it's inclusive. We want people to come, but there's only so many seats, right? So it's a smaller venue. It's still going to... I want that boutique vibe. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Awesome. I definitely hope to look forward to hearing more in the future.
For sure.
So, thank you.
Yeah, dude. And I guess let's talk about hash for a while. Since we're here, we can talk about hash. And I love talking about hash. You love talking about hash.
I love hash, so please.
What are your favorite varieties that you're working with right now that are different than all the other stuff? Like, I mean, there's the GMOs. A lot of people are running GMO derivatives of GMO crosses, and I like this Tony Burger, right? So that's like special. But I feel like there's so many other directions we can go. Whitethorn Rose is getting an extract too.
Whitethorn Rose that's beautiful medicine. Johnny and Rose grew up there at Huckleberry Hill.
Johnny's been on my podcast. I love Johnny. He's great, man. I think he's the real deal. I love when people come on and they're just so authentic, and it's like it just resonates with everybody, not just me, but everybody that watches it gets the experience, and it's like it's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time to be alive, to get these stories told on podcast.
Thank you for taking the time to let everyone take time to talk with you, so people who love listening to your podcast get to hear the wisdom every single one of us, everyone who has had the opportunity to talk and we're recording to share any wisdom.
And I've been talking about it a lot this weekend about finding your place in the world. Where do you belong? And I feel like a lot of people, when they found the industry, that was home for them. And it's like we're all contributing to something that's so much bigger than ourselves. It's just an amazing time to be alive and to be able to contribute to this thing that's just a collective consciousness of energy and of passion and spirit. And these people that are in this industry are extremely special because they feel the same way that we do about the plant. It's like you're smiling right now, and I can tell you love cannabis, and it's like it's contagious when people start seeing that. And it's like, how can you argue that that's wrong, or that that should be criminal, or that we're not outlaws? We're not bad people. We love something that's extremely special to us, that is a freedom that we all deserve to have. You know?
Absolutely. We're humans too.
Yeah. What are the genetics you like that you're working with now, and what kind of washing are you getting with them?
Shane, who's the CEO of Tall Tree Society, the founder of it, he actually had got the opportunity of having a cut of the SFVOG.
Yeah, I like SFV. I like it a lot. It's a crazy looking plant though. Like if you go too long with it, it totally looks crazy.
It wasn't the best yielder. As we usual OGs, wasn't the best yielder, but what I was able to cold cure in the rosin to show him what I could do with cold curing his resin that he and the team grew.
Yeah.
And he literally just sent me a picture and just goes, "Oh my goodness, this is beautiful."
Yeah.
And everyone who's dabbed it, everyone even said in terms of a concentrate form, it brings them back. And hearing people have
I used to love the scissor hash. I grew SFV. My friends grew SFV. We grew a lot of it, but the scissor hash for SFV was always the best. There was a handful of things where it was like, I still remember the way the scissor hash tastes. It was different. It tastes exactly like the plant smelled.
Yes.
And so that's what I love. I like good scissor hash should smell exactly like the plant smells.
Yeah.
You're getting those terps in its perfect form.
Yeah. Yeah. People have said when they say that it's like it brings them back. It's not the plant burn, but or like a chlorophyll, but more of the pine. That pine.
Yeah, that earthy pine with a little citrus, right? But where it's like not just pine, but pine needles. Like you have that fresh fucking pine needles.
Yes.
You can smoke that. And the beauty of a dab is it's all trapped into one hit. You smoke a joint, and it's amazing too. I love joints.
Absolutely.
Then you get that over the period of the joint, and when it tastes good all the way down the road, which is special. But when you smoke it in the form of rosin, it's like encapsulating that whole joint into one hit, and you blow it out, and it's amazing. That's what I love about it, because you're getting all that flavor condensed into one hit, and it's just because really you're getting the terps, and we would talk about flavor molecules, but you're getting all those flavor molecules of a much larger amount of cannabis all compacted into one hit.
Yeah. Yep. And then I'm going to be squishing our wash team, actually. He's a single person. He's a great guy. Nicolas, shout out to him. The washer I get to press that beautiful resin he washes.
Yeah.
And he just washed. I got to collect it up on the next press will be melted strawberries.
Yeah. What do you think about Skittles rosin?
There's been a real female gun craze for it. So there's been a lot out there. I'm like, okay, it's Skittles. And then there's some where I dab it. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm like early 20s right now. And I taste candy. Like the first time I hit a joint of pure like what Skittles was. Yeah. So
I still remember the first day I tried Skittles. It was at the High Times Cannabis Cup in 2014 in June. And I remember the first day, it was amazing. And it's one of those life-changing, I feel like throughout my life, Cactus was one of them, Sour Diesel was another one. Like, these are things that have affected me to this day and had an impact on the direction I went in life or what I liked about cannabis. The OG Kush was one. We had a Master Kush and a Bubba Kush. The Bubba Kush was like soapy, and I still remember that soapy smell. Sometimes I smell like Irish Springs, or I wash my hands with soap, and I'm like, it smells like Bubba Kush.
Yes.
So, same thing. Pine needles. If you eat the young pine needles off of a redwood tree, or these pine trees, but off a redwood tree, the needles, the very young needles, it reminds me of OG Kush. So they're high in vitamin C, so they're actually healthy and good.
Oh my God. Okay. I live in Anderson Valley, up in Mendocino, or down from here in Mendocino County, I should say. So I love hiking through some of the redwood forests. So I'm going to tell you,
picking up mushrooms and eating those. Yeah.
Oh, so many varieties. Turkey tail is such a beautiful find out there.
Well, you guys get tons of different variety, and the further north you go to, I think there's some areas towards Oregon that get some crazy mushroom. Larry, there's people all over here that go mushroom hunting.
Yes, very much facts. I've seen in some towns in Mendocino County setting up literally an extended stay room, just being like, we'll buy mushrooms on a sign right next to the motel. And that's
awesome.
Yeah.
How about mushroom terps and weed? Have you ever smelled any savory mushroom terps? They say it's like they say GMO, but I don't get mushrooms in GMO.
There's been one pheno I washed about 3 seasons ago.
Yeah.
I'm trying to recall because I remember washing about 3 seasons ago, which it tasted like mushrooms and it was fresh. And then as that rosin almost cold cured out, it turned more into onions. But when it was more fresh, that was the only time I could ever recall like having a mushroom taste.
Yeah, I've smelled gravy, fried chicken.
Oh yeah.
Orange chicken.
Yes.
Orange chicken, yeah.
Yes. Alien Hand Grenade was my first experience with that one of all things, and I miss that. I miss that, like orange chicken terpene taste.
Right. What do you think about Tangy?
I love the terpene Tangy. I love that specific, if it's less specific type of limonene with it.
Yeah.
Like, however, as a solventless ice water sift and solventless hash maker, on its own, it's never been a washer. I remember when
it has to be dry sifted, right? Like I think
dry sift.
I think that's what they do in Morocco. Tangy's the most popular thing over there. Tangy, 24K, all those are
beautiful. They're the right group to be doing that.
For sure.
In Morocco, that's the perfect climatology for dry sift.
Dry, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I
no
love,
nutrition in the soil. They just put it out there. I mean, not no nutrition, but low nutrition.
Yeah. I always was blown. That's actually seeing like on a documentary about hashish being made when I was little. That's what kind of inspired me.
Morocco has some of the most amazing hash.
Yeah.
I've seen it in Barcelona. It's like the real Moroccan. It's like once you experience it, my friend is like a Moroccan hash connoisseur, and he has like frozen samples of so many different things, and it's like they're all just super special.
Beautiful.
Good stuff, man. Well, thank you for coming on. We'll need to get you down to Hayward. You can come check out the facility. I'd love to have you down there.
I would
on
be
a podcast
honored to share that time with you, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, James.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing space with me.
For sure. How's it going, everybody? Day 3, Reggae on the River. I'm here with Dave from Bojolero. How are you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for coming on, talking to me for a little bit. We met yesterday over sour diesel, something I've been looking for a long time. I've gotten samples of sour diesel from so many different people, and you came up to me and said, check this out. If it's not the right one, you can be honest with me, which I totally appreciate because I get that a lot, and you got the right cut.
Right on.
And I haven't seen it in years, and it has, I mean, when you squeeze it, you just get the real sour smell. You get the aroma. It was grown with mixed light too, so I think we were talking about there's something to be said for the people who grow it and the way they grow it to get those specific profiles.
Right.
And yeah, it's special.
Right on. Well, yeah, I'm just stoked to kind of still have it. I've had it for 21 years, and when I got it, I knew it was special, so I kept it just because it was special to me, and
So the cat piss, it gives me hope that there is real cat piss still.
There's someone out there that has it.
There's someone that has the real, and there's so many different cat pisses. I'm sure they're real to those people that have them, all these different ones.
Right.
But the one that's real to me that I miss the most has been gone. It's eluded me for a long time, and my friends.
That's like the Romulan for me. I had this one Romulan, and it was the one for me, and nobody else had it, and like I've been looking for it ever since. And you know, so
Romulan was amazing. 20 years ago, Romulan was the one. The Romulan, we had the Shamulan, but it was like we just call it the Shaman, but it was like a Romulan back cross, or a Shaman back cross with the Romulan, and it was just amazing. The color was one of those purple ones that didn't have the effect that matches the color. You think of Romulan, it was more of an uplifting and powerful smoke.
Okay, yeah, mine was the exact opposite. We used to call it the head denter.
Wow.
I mean, that was like straight the most sedative cannabis I've ever smoked in my life.
Yeah.
But it's different to see the different expressions, and like we were talking about earlier, the way it's grown can express itself and have also different effects.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times with the sour, it can be really good, or it can be not so good real easy. And there's kind of like a fine line there. If you mess up the cure, there's none of that good sour smell. And it just goes
to hay. It goes to hay. Yeah, it totally goes to hay, which is mostly what I see, to be honest with you. Most of the stuff I've seen is hay. You know, people, and it's hard to tell if it was even the real cut when it's hay. You know, so.
Yeah, there should be some of it in there, you know, but I've grown it.
You really got to squeeze for sometimes, but
I've grown under HPS and LED, and I will say the LED is nowhere near like the HPS.
No.
I grew it for a long time under HPS, and the first LED harvest, I was like, what happened to the sour?
Yeah.
Like, this is not what I was expecting.
There's heat and there's far red, and so there's some big differences with those. And I agree, but Blue Dream's another example of something that should be grown under HPS. That does better. I think it performs better under HPS.
Some of them do, you know, it's just like outdoor strains that don't do well outside, you know, they do better inside and all that. So that's part of kind of learning how to grow different varieties, what they like, what they don't like.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, all these different sours I've seen, there's that sour in there, or it has the structure, or it has a little bit of the smell. Sometimes it even has the smell and the look, and then I go to smoke it and you're like, it's just not the one.
Transfer.
It's not the one that I remember, you know. And yours is the first thing I've seen in 20 years. Not maybe a little bit less than 20 years, probably like 12 years, 14 years, something like that. Because it really went away in like 2012, 2014. Gorilla Glue kind of was the pivoting point, I think, for it to basically everybody switched to Gorilla Glue. That I knew.
It was hot for a while, and then it's like everything, people start to grow it, and then you get enough bland batches or mediocre batches, and people start to gravitate towards something else that's better real quick.
Yeah.
And then you call them, they're like, oh, I got the sour, and like, it wasn't good last time, I'm on to something else, sorry. You know, whatever the case was. You know, I think a lot of people lost it for whatever reason. I heard someone talking about how they got busted and they lost their cut.
Hoplite and Viroid, I mean, I think the genetics deteriorated with Hoplite and Viroid, so when people were growing them, they weren't getting good yields, it was dudding. You know, I think they've contributed to one of the early vectors of Hoplite that got spread around, which I remember it wasn't the same. Some of my friends grew it, it just wasn't the same too. So
yeah, I've often thought maybe mine has some sort of virus after growing it under an LED and then just seeing some weird stuff. But then I had one of my best yields ever under LEDs. And I almost gave up on it, but my buddy grew it last year in his outdoor patch.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, it's still got it. Like, it probably needs to be tissue cultured.
Yeah.
But what we want, what we're hoping to get out of it is still there.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna roll the dice and I'm gonna put 20 in a greenhouse and see what happens. And I'm really glad I did, because it came out kind of what I've been looking for it, even though I've had it the whole time.
Right.
I haven't done as much growing recently, so I had some friends grow it outside. It came out really great.
Yeah.
Well, then when I grew it inside, I was like, oh, this is disappointing. So I think a lot goes to how you're growing it, where you're growing it, what nutrients you're using, when you're using them.
What do you think are the best for nutrients for sour specifically?
I mean, it likes nutrients. You know,
likes to eat.
The first recipe was the GH recipe back in the early 2000s. I think it's like the Lucas recipe, just that basic GH.
Right.
I think it likes organics though. You know, I was growing it side by side with a friend's soil versus hydro, rock wool, you know, the clay pellets.
Yeah.
And it seems to just express itself to its fuller potential when grown in soil.
Yeah.
With organic nutrients. I mean, my same friend was growing in soil, but with chemi nutrients.
Nice.
And then I think one thing that I started doing, I was like, okay, what nutrient is most responsible for smell and flavor? So it was sulfur, you know, and I think there's been some studies that came out recently that sulfur is responsible for that like skunky aroma.
Yeah, abstract tech, they're calling it flavorants, but it has to do with thiols and sulfur being,
So I don't think that's necessarily what gives the sour its skunky smell.
Sure.
But I did start kind of gravitating towards
I think that's why it's pungent though, is from that for sure.
Some Epsom salt, you know, from the store just because it's cheap and easy.
Right.
I've used a lot of different nutrients on it. I've used Botanicare, Advanced Nutrients, BioBiz, Organics Alive, and I think it just likes good amended soil. This last round I used a blend of Organics Alive and some BioLink with some inoculants, you know, just kind of standard run-of-the-mill organics, but I really do like some of the more water-soluble organic stuff.
Nice.
Just because I do inject and...
Totally. And you have lines? Yeah, I've got kind of it's not automated, but I've got the 5 rows. They're all separated. They're all on emitters, so I just turn on a couple lines at a time, and then just watch the tank go down, switch the lines.
Right.
And a lot of stuff still does clog it, even the really soluble organic stuff.
Some of the stuff just clogs,
but
good organic stuff clogs.
Yeah, but it's pretty basic. I mean, nothing special. It's got a greenhouse with some good ventilation.
Nice. So you're not just a one-hit wonder. You showed me some other landrace genetics that were, stuff that you just don't see. You might see it at Reggae on the River, but you really typically wouldn't see it anywhere else in California other than in the hills.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of it myself. I'm still learning. It's new to me. I've been kind of a traditional kind of hype guy almost. I mean, I grew a lot of sour predominantly.
Yeah.
And I guess I've never really I've always gravitated towards stuff that was different, and just held on to that and kind of ran with it. Mm-hmm. And then my father-in-law has been collecting seeds and pollen from around the world since the 60s.
Wow.
And as soon as I met him, I knew that he had something different going on, but it took me a little while to kind of experience what he was trying to share with me.
Yeah.
And I kind of like to call it like an indica detox. You have to almost only smoke these types of varieties to really understand the high, because they don't slap you in the face super hard instantly, like a good OG Kush, for example. It just whomp. It's hard and quick.
Yeah.
Whereas some of these other varieties, it kind of builds up to this thing where you get to a point where you're like, damn, I am so high right now.
Yeah.
And that can be subtle, but when it takes full course, is actually really strong. And then once you start to notice that experience kind of from start to finish, and some of it does come on quick, like the African Haze 11 is a really quick acting, strong high, and it lasts for a long time, and it can be pretty intense. Those pearls that I showed you are similar, but I feel like it's a little less racy and more of that like good giggly feeling where you just feel absolutely fantastic.
Right.
So it's hard. They take a long time to flower. A lot of things can go wrong in 14 weeks. And then the pearls, they look like something you might throw away.
Dr. Grinspan is like, it looks like most people would call that undesirable, or they'd be like, that's what I used to see in high times in the 70s.
Yeah, and people associate that with, for some reason, have a negative connotation.
Right.
But I think a lot of it just comes down to, well, be honest with yourself. Did you grow it to its full potential? Because if you didn't, then you can't really say it was or wasn't good.
Sure.
I learned that the hard way with LEDs. I recently got rid of some good genetics that I thought weren't good. I later found out they were, and I should have kept them. And then just, sometimes the yield's not great. Sometimes the yield is actually really good.
Yeah.
So I think it just takes someone that is really after the experience and the high, the whole kind of enchilada of growing it, rolling the joint.
Growing it multiple times to figure out what to do with it too, like how you can improve it.
Totally, because you could grow it once and it didn't come out that good, and you grow it over and over and over. And that's how I learned how to grow really good. Yeah. I grew the sour repeatedly as many times as I could for years and years and years, and it really taught me this is a nitrogen deficiency, this is a CalMag deficiency, and I was able to identify certain things so that when I grew other plants, it was like, okay, I know what to look for, as opposed to, well, it could be underwatering with this plant or overwatering or a nutrient issue, but you don't know until you do it multiple times, and then you know what a good version of sour is or a good version of Bubba Kush is, because you've done it enough times to know.
Well, I love Bubba. Bubba's name got ruined in the, starting 10 years ago when they started mass producing Bubba in huge warehouses. And so I think a lot of people think of Bubba as something completely different than what I know as Bubba and what you know as Bubba. That pre-98, soapy, has it has an amazing aroma. It's gassy, it's soapy, it's special, it smokes good, it has a good effect. In my opinion, it checks all the boxes. Right. But there's like the whole, in Oakland, San Leandro, they were between Oakland and San Leandro, on San Leandro Avenue, they were just filling warehouses and just growing Bubba, pulling it 53 days or less, sometimes 49 days. Right. So, it's like, depending on who you grow and what cut you have, that's the other thing. Is like, just because it's called one thing doesn't mean that it's necessarily that. Like Bubba Kush is a great example, because there's several cuts of Bubba Kush, and there's one good one in my opinion that I've seen over the years.
Yeah, and I get that a lot with the sour. People ask me, what cut is this? And I say, well, I don't know, because it was just the sour. Yeah. It was pre any names, and
people's reaction like yours was often like, well, I haven't seen this one, since back in the day or for 20 years. And so it's like, well, what do you have? Like I had some friends, they got a batch from my buddy that had seeded itself and they grew those seeds.
Yeah.
And they said for years that sour that came out of those seeds wasn't the same as the sour clone that we had.
Oh wow.
And
makes sense though.
It was a little bit watered down. Maybe it got a little bit of pollen from something else. Maybe it was selfed, who knows? But that sour cut, it was just a sour, and I'm thankful that I've kept on to it, because I feel like it is a special one. And I kind of knew, just my gut was telling me, just don't let go of this, don't let go of this. I really connected with it in a really strong way.
Yeah.
And was around other people that had that same really strong connection when it was really popular. And it's interesting to see, I kind of just throw my arms up and be like, man, it's just sour. It's just a good batch of sour. Hopefully the next one comes out that good,
Totally. Yeah, and I mean, it is farming. From harvest to harvest, it's different, comes out slightly different. It's like you try to get it as consistent as possible. And if you do it right, it's going to be good. If you do it wrong, it's not going to be as good, but typically it's going to be good.
Yeah, and growing in a greenhouse versus indoor and outdoor, it's all going to be different.
Yeah.
You're going to have...
totally different and structurally too. The bud can be structurally different, indoor versus outdoor versus greenhouse versus mixed light.
And I've found that the airier sour stinks more than the really dense sour.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, there's just more like air, surface area for that smell to get out. But I find like on the indoor, the bigger buds would be less stinky than the smaller buds that weren't as dense.
Right.
Which is now you're getting into the same plant grown the same way, but different parts of the plant are producing different types of bud,
Sides as opposed to the top, a lot more terp.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to get you down to the Bay Area, get you on a show. I'd love to do a whole podcast, come down, we can smoke the sour together, talk about it, smoke some of the other stuff that it was a Bubba Haze that you had. That was pretty good.
Bubba Kush Original Haze.
Yeah, really nice. Real Bubba aroma, like nostalgic Bubba smell, but it has something else to it. It's a little funky, a little sharp on the nose too.
Yeah, it's a good combo. That's one of my favorite hybrids right now. And it's a great yielder too.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, man. We'll do this again soon.
Appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. How's it going? I'm here with Nahki T. He is at Reggae on the River 2024 with me. You did 2 sets. How you doing?
I'm feeling blessed, man. I'm feeling so blessed just to be here at Reggae on the River, to have this festival back. I've been going to this festival for over 2 decades.
Yeah, me too. The first time we went, I met my wife. This was the first vacation we was here.
That's what's up, man.
So, yeah, good times. I mean, it's been a beautiful weekend, and like they had reggae for several years. So to bring it back with this kind of energy, you did some amazing sets, both Friday and Saturday morning. I missed the Friday, but the Saturday set was great. You got good energy. I mean, couldn't have a better place to be a DJ at, you know what I mean? Or a musician, or just, as a spectator, it's like great to just be part of this bigger thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a hot weekend, but it's such a blessing to get to see all my friends. And I'm seeing people I haven't seen in over a decade because, we haven't been here on the River Bay.
Well, I kind of knew you were going to be here. I saw your name somewhere on something, and then like just driving in, and you're like walking in, and it's like, okay, Nahki T's here. It's going to be a good weekend. Yeah, everybody's here. Yeah, totally. So we got Marlon here. And then the acts, they've had so many good performers over the last couple of days. Tonight's going to be another amazing night. Last night finishing with Capleton, and then they did the battle with the dub plates last night. That was pretty
intense. The sound clash was sick.
Yeah, that was wild.
To bring that real Jamaican culture here is really the first of its kind, to bring that to Reggae on the River. So I love what Leo has done with this festival and the acts that he's brought, as you were mentioning. It's not like all the big headlining acts. It's a lot of this underground reggae music and sound system culture that he's booked. There's 41 DJs / sound systems that he brought to this event.
Amazing.
And so I love that aspect of this event.
So I heard that sound system was $1 million down at the river.
I don't know what the price is, but Christofari, Royal Sound and Lighting, they know how to tune a sound.
It sounded
not
amazing.
only setting up the sound, it's not only their relationship with Void Acoustics, but it's tuning that sound that that Chris and Zach and the whole Royal Sound and Lighting family just have on point.
And
you
was
can
so
turn
good,
that up so much louder down there and not hurt your ears.
Yeah.
The main stage was a little
I had a little
less,
ringing this morning,
little
but yeah,
less
I'm getting
because
older.
the main stage.
Yeah.
But the dance hall is a beautiful thing to be able to play on that, let alone listen to it in the crowd.
Totally. So, what were your favorite acts this weekend so far?
Man,
so many good ones. It's just
Conscience really threw down last night. Leela Ike made me cry.
Wow,
it was emotional for me.
Yeah.
And oh man, there was there's been so many already. I'm already losing track.
So I'm close enough that I can hear all the acts, even though I don't go to all the. Capleton was amazing.
Capleton was beautiful. I've seen Capleton 15 times, 20 times.
Yeah, totally.
But
He just brings the
came with
energy.
some
His
crazy
Anthony B was
energy.
great, and you know, I
Anthony
think
B got a little cheesy for me, but
well, he
I
just
love
was
him the
going
same
old
way.
school. He's recovering from a surgery, I heard.
Yeah.
So
give him a little credit. Sorry.
And then Capleton just crushes every time. It's like so much energy. The crowd goes wild. The big flags in the crowd moving around at the same time, and it's like
you know who else I loved is DeMarco's set.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
I really thought DeMarco's set was great.
There was a little kid that rapped some Too Short yesterday. That was
Lake
incredible.
Anthony, Lake crushes it every single time. I think I got to see one of his first performances in Tahoe at the Tahoe Reggae Fest a few years back, and I was like, all right, this kid's going
going somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
totally.
now his voice has even changed, but it's getting better, and he's even more, just in tune and in key, like with the songs. He's singing every lyric. It's a beautiful thing, man.
It's amazing. Just the energy here is just, you're talking about you just went and got a massage. They got it hooked up everywhere here, and the food's great. I mean, we're doing our own food too. I love cooking, but
I know
the food's good here. I mean, it's amazing, and it's sold out. It's completely sold out, and I feel like everyone's in a great mood.
Yeah.
Sometimes when it's super packed, people get all bummed out or like pissed off or whatever, but there's none of that here.
No, it's a beautiful vibe and energy throughout the entire weekend.
Yeah.
I haven't had any bad vibes. I'm camping with the good vibe tribe over here. So,
You absolutely are,
no
yeah.
bad vibes.
Totally.
It's literally the good vibe tribe.
I've seen a couple people wandering at like 4 a.m. looking for their tents, but that's bound to happen with this many people.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff. Well, October 1st, I'm doing the Dabadoo in San Francisco, and I'm trying to get you out there. So hopefully we can do this 10-year anniversary thing. Because 10 years ago we did it with Dougie and Mila in San Francisco, and that was a good time. And hopefully we can repeat that. I'm gonna get a heavyweight belt, so the person who wins is getting a Dabadoo heavyweight belt.
Anything for Mila, I'd love to be involved.
Totally.
100%. She's
Fantastic.
the queen.
She is. She's amazing.
She put me on. So, a lot of people thank me throughout these festivals for putting them on or teaching them about solventless, but Mila put me on. So I owe all the love and credit to Mila.
Yeah, she's just a kind soul and just cares about the industry and cares about people like very few. So
For real. And she's still hitting so many events every year.
And joints. She throws her spliffs. Yeah, she smokes harder than most of us young guys.
100%.
And I'm not young anymore, but like even still.
Yeah, I think her and my homie Jaw Weiser from Jaw Warrior Shelter, another one of my mentors who's DJing this weekend, they'd be battling it out in my world. Like a lot of the judges that I see throughout, they can't smoke like Mila and Jaw Weiser.
Yeah.
Like those two, they're my judges.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for your time, man. I look forward to getting you on another podcast. Your last podcast was a hit, so we'll do it
bro.
again soon.
It's always a blessing and a pleasure, man. Thanks, James.
Absolutely. It's day 3. I'm here with Marlon again. How are you doing, Marlon?
I'm fair to fine, thank you. It's so good to be here. Reggae on the river.
What an amazing show. Capleton last night. Wow.
Man, Capleton was on fire. I always expect,
He brings it every time.
I always expect an amazing performance from Capleton, It's a blessing.
Yeah, just it's and the sound system down at the river is actually pretty amazing too. I think that's $1 million sound system they have down there.
I think they went all out to make sure that this Reggae on the River was a success, and I think it paid off,
Yeah, very successful. And you're going on tonight?
Yeah, I play like 6:30 tonight.
It's going to be great.
Going to be a lot of good vibes going on the stage. I think it's a pleasure to represent the roots rock reggae music,
Yeah.
A lot of people anticipating that segment, so yeah, man, I appreciate it.
So many good acts.
Man.
So much fun. So many people. And they've sold out for the weekend.
and you could tell they sold out. It's packed.
Yeah.
It's really packed with happy people.
Yeah.
That's
and the thing about the lineup, everyone was, they put the right artists together on the right days.
Yeah.
It all made sense,
The balance, the energy, everything.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was a good vibe.
Fantastic. Well, we're probably going to talk again tomorrow.
Definitely.
But yeah, thanks. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
So we're closing day 3, Reggae on the River 2024. I'm here with Rue. We survived. We made it. Saw the most amazing artists.
Epic weekend. We just got done seeing Marlon Asher. First time I've ever seen him. It was a great performance. Mind blowing. I can't believe I'm still here.
Dude, so let's talk about the highlights of your weekend. You started by a phone call, and then 2 months later, we're here together.
Yeah. You called me. You said you had to do something. I was supposed to try to do the podcast. You said you had to go to Reggae on the River at that time. I was like, what's up? I like reggae. And you said, I'll call you back or something. I don't know. Yeah, hit me back. And you said, now you're here. You said, if you come out, I got you. And I said, all right. Got a fundraiser, and I'm here.
Yeah, man, it was a good time. It was a good adventure. I feel like the experience was great. The river was warm. There was a little algae in the river, but I can't wait to come back next year.
I can't wait next year, man. It's going to be awesome. The river was great. You know what I'm saying? Is you have to like it, just floating in that river, have the music in the background, everybody just partying, having a good time. It's
lots of dabs, lots of flower. What was the highlight of your weekend as far as flower?
Probably that sour diesel you gave me.
No, that was special.
That was good. We got to take some long rips of it, and that flavor was good.
That and the Nigerian haze was amazing. I smoked some Nigerian haze that was like creeper weed. It just creeped up, gently lifting you up to the right place.
Nice.
It was just an amazing weekend. Pretty could have been better. So if you guys want to come next year, join us in person. We're gonna have a booth here. We're gonna be doing it up. It's gonna be lots of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll check you out soon. Check into the podcast.